Hello everyone, hello, hope you're doing okay. Welcome to the Saturday Live Review. Yes, well, basically pushing it a bit. It's just about winter still, just about, although the weather is getting better. But we've got the winter puddings H-box from Hotel Chocolat this time. Yeah, so basically, long story short is I uncovered it from under a pile of clothes. I forgot I had it basically, so I probably would have reviewed it sooner really. But we're still in sort of winter, just about. And of course this one will be available next year as well. You might be able to still get it online at a discount price, but worth reviewing, I think, worth reviewing for sure. So it looks an interesting one, and there is quite a lot of chocolates in this one. Look at that. We've got what is it, 13 different kinds, and I think there's only, how many servings are in the whole box? There's 14, I think. 14 cakes, cookie crumbles, and more, reinvented in chocolate. So there's only one duplicate, I think. That's a bit of an unfortunate one if you're the one to be duplicated, I guess. So good and bad, that really. Chocolate selections, well, I think it's fair to say you'd probably like at least 2 of each chocolate, because you might offer one to someone, things like this, and obviously if they have it, then there's none left for yourself. It's not like, it's not unusual. It's not impossible that you would have them all to yourself, but you might be sharing them. So I think that is a sort of fundamental flaw with the Hotel Chocolat chocolate selections as a whole, in these H-box versions at least anyway. But nonetheless, it's one of those. I don't know what the answer to that is, but there we go. Now, there are some shared. We did do some of our Hotel Chocolat reviews over Christmas time, and there are some of these that are shared over that one. So hopefully I'll be consistent with my ratings. I mean, feel free to go back, check the other one, see if I was consistent. It's a difficult one. My opinions do change over time. It can depend on the day, this, that, and the other. So there's hard caveats involved, but I'm not against the fact that I could be relatively fickle with it and change my marks up or down by a star or something. It can depend on the day. I'm not sure. Can depend on the selection as well, because the different selections, of course, work together in different ways. Maybe maybe in other selections there was 2 similar ones. In this one, maybe there might be a bit more different. So it stands out a bit more, sort of a certain chocolate, and it's it's a hard one to say. There's many. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, enough of the excuses, I guess, is the. But you hopefully get what I'm talking about. So let's have a look then. What have we got? What's the gist on the back? There's loads of ingredients on this. We won't go through all of them. I mean, because there's 14 chocolates, different types. So obviously it'd be a bit much, but we can go through the gist of it. A selection of filled chocolates. There we go. Right, that sums it up. So there's loads of ingredients here, but for key things, I think I saw palm oil a second ago. Somewhere in here, of course, I can't see it now, but I'm sure I saw it somewhere. Or the word palm anyway, but of course now I can't see it. Yeah, I could have maybe took a lot to find it, because I can't take my word for it. I could be wrong there. I can't see it now, so that's possibly a good sign. As I say, I feel like I did see it, but we can see here some stuff going on here. Dark chocolate contains minimum 70% cocoa solids, so dark chocolate is quite dark. Milk chocolate contains minimum 40% cocoa solids, minimum 20% milk solids. So that's quite a strong chocolate, even in the milk chocolates there. So white chocolate contains minimum 36% cocoa butter, minimum 27% milk solids. There we go. Caramel milk chocolate contains minimum 36% cocoa solids, minimum 26% milk solids. Okay, so so you can see there is definitely some quality there. Even the milk chocolates are quite a high % cocoa solids, so not too bad that. Yeah. As I say, I can't store in a cool, dry place away from strong odours. It says made in the United Kingdom with cocoa from West Africa. Okay. Well, I can't see it, Pamela. Thought I could see it earlier on. I haven't seen it since. I feel like I should at least make another attempt to see that, because it is important to some people, more so these days. But I can't see it. So maybe I didn't see it there. We can see the picture here. So obviously, if you are watching this after the event or at any time, you could pause it and check. But I honestly can't see it, so I don't think it does contain it. I can see other oils and things like this, so I would have thought I would have seen it if it was near it, but I can't make it out now, so I don't believe it's there. Yeah, I don't think it does contain any, so there we go. But as I say, I could be wrong. Okay, right. So so I guess the box for this one, it's just a sort of, I wouldn't say, well, I guess all boxes are shells, whatever, but you can just take the top off of this. even without undoing the packaging. This is what's securely packaged. So technically, you know, if there were some mischievous people, they could take the top off this, swap it with another one, and you'd have a totally different selection. So there we go. I'd say the H box is a bit, I mean, you know, it's not really a H box either, I don't think. We'll open it and find out, but of course, other than this symbol, but it is covering up 2 of the chocolates there, and you do wonder, is that worth the gimmick? Because if you know, there you go. So there's no real H symbol there, and you can see at the top there as well, the box could easily have 2, well, 1 more chocolate in. 3, 6, 9, 12. So there is literally just 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 chocolates. It's just a 15. Oh no, 14 cakes. Yeah. So there is. A lot of these H boxes do have 15 chocolates in. This one they've literally taken one out. So these are all different. So we're reviewing all of these ones today. So it's going to be quite an intense review. Yeah. You know, there we go. One of those. So let's have a look at the calorie counts as well. So we'll have to be careful on eating. It's per 100 grams. So the box itself is 190. So we've almost got double the calories in this one. So yeah, so have to be careful here. 563 calories, so above the 500 to 550 that typical chocolatey type products have, chocolate bars at least. 38.8 grams of fat, 21.8 of which are saturates. And per 2 pieces, 153 calories per 2 chocolates. 10.5 grams of fat, 5.9 of which are saturates. So it's quite a lot, that, isn't it, for 2 chocolates? So I'll probably be eating half of this. I'll probably try and eat half of the chocolates today. So when you consider that, quite a lot, that really. Yeah, it's quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, you're talking, was it 7 times that amount? I think, possibly. Yeah, so it's at least quite a lot. Yeah, 300. Yeah, 600. Yeah, 300, 600. Yeah, so for 6 of them, yeah, so 300, 600. So yeah, about 700 calories, I think, is just. It's gonna be quite. Yeah. Maybe not that much actually. Per 100 grams, it's 1,120 something or other. So, I guess if we half that, 600, about 5. Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, it's probably about 500 calories basically. So quite a lot really. Anyway, yeah. So quite a lot. But there we go. My maths used to be relatively good, but now it's just terrible. I used to watch Countdown every day. It's a UK quiz show where you have a maths round in it basically. I used to be really good at it, but. Just unfortunately, when you don't use maths that much, you just rely on computers and things. You just, you just don't really. You get out of the habit of doing it. All right. Well, let's tell you what. We'll move down a bit. Let's have a look at the actual. Give them an open, then, shall we? And in fact, I'll tell you what. Before we move down, we'll just give it an open up here. Yeah, I think so. We'll give it an open up here. We'll see. Because I want to get the card out and. Yeah, just have a look at that. So we'll just have a look. It's got like does look to have a pull tag. If you can quite see, just there's like a seam along here. So I assume there's some kind of pull tag, but I can't see it. Oh, there we go. Let's do it at the back. Yeah, so I have to be careful, don't drop these everywhere. So I'll have to. Right. Okay. Well, that's great. There we go. So there we go. So it's coming across there. All right. So there we go. Right. So I'll just open this down here and get the card out. Okay. Alright, there we go. Because what I want to do is I want to get the actual menu out, and then we might. There we go. So here we go. We can have a look at this. Okay, so there we are. So we've got so it's quite an okay menu, but it's a problem for the channel for looking at it live because it's quite wide and the description's quite yeah. So we might have to just manipulate things a bit. I'll do a screenshot of it. Let's have a look. Let's have a see. So I'll tell you what, I'll just remove this symbol here. This logo there. So we'll try and do a screenshot of it. It's going to be difficult because it's not perfect. Yeah, we'll try and do it like that. So we'll see if I can get it relatively straight. Probably not going to be too perfect, but we'll do what we can. Okay, so what I've done is I've done a screenshot basically. So hopefully we'll get it in all of it without it looking a bit of a mess. But it's one of those where it might be a bit difficult, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, right. So I'm just going to save it now as it's basically as an image that I can then import into the live software. So we'll try that and see how it goes. Then at least we can reference it relatively easy on the screen. So let's see. So put the box that one back, and there we go. So here we are. So I've kind of got it. It's a bit, it's not perfect. But there you go. It'll do. Okay, so there we are. We've got it. So we've got it here as well, but we can just reference that as well for ease of instead of me holding it all the time, stuff like that. So yeah, just put the rubbish out of the way. Okay, right. So there we go. So we're up and running. Okay. Right. So just move all the rubbish out of the way. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll move down now. So we'll probably just go from left to right, I think, unless anyone's got any preferences. Feel free to shout out if you have. And also, by the way, what we'll do halfway through this, we'll open one of these Cadbury cream eggs to see if we won the £10,000 prize by finding a half white, half milk chocolate one. Odds are against us, has to be said. We have opened about 10 of them so far, and we haven't won anything, but there's only about 168 winning eggs in the country, I believe, and only about 6 of those are £10,000 prizes as well. So you're not necessarily guaranteed £10,000, even if you find half white, half milk chocolate eggs. So yeah. All right, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll start off with the Treacle Tart, shall we, here? We'll just move our way from left to right, top to bottom. So yeah. So Treacle Tart, so yes, we'll see. So what does this one say? I'll read it from the thing, but it's on the screen. A childhood favourite, apparently, yeah. Thick caramel and a squeeze of lemon served in milk, topped with cornflakes for that classic pastry texture. Okay, I don't know if it's a childhood favourite, a Treacle Tart. I certainly wouldn't have described it as a child. I mean, I would have described it as something you've had as a child, but then you've had most things as a child, really. Yeah, certainly not a childhood, but not mine anyway. But nonetheless, it's still quite nice. Quite a sort of burnt caramel taste. Should be well, the sort of the artisanal chocolate makers street, the burnt chocolate taste, because all their caramels tend to taste quite burnt for some reason. So this one they should actually sort of manage to achieve quite well. So let's have a look at it. Where is it now? We've lost it already. Here it is. So look, as I say, here's the selection, by the way. We'll just have a look at it as a whole. Now, it's going to be difficult, this, because I don't want to knock them out of the packaging. But you can see it there. It looks quite nice. And you can see a couple of them. This one here. This one's not the Treacle Tart. It does look quite similar to the Treacle Tart. Which one is the Treacle Tart? It looks to be, on the picture, it looks to be a round one. Let's just make it bigger again. Oh no, I was misreading. It's one with the M on it, isn't it? Okay, it's the bottom left one. All right. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Right, my mistake. Yeah, so the Treacle Tart is, yes, down here. With an M on it, yes. Don't know why that is, or a W. Yeah, the Moser Off ones had an M on there as well, which you can understand because it's Moser Off. For some reason, Hotel Chocolat ones as well. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know. Yeah, don't know what that's meant to be. But you can see it looks quite a nice selection, all different, nice variety of colours as well. I think I mean, obviously lots of browns, but I think the different shades of brown. You know, it's colourful for a chocolate selection. It's not too bad, specifically because there's purple one and the pink one up here. I think it looks reasonably okay. I think ones like this one look very boring. Some of them are a bit more mundane nowadays. We've seen them many times, you know. This one's a bit, you know, it's not quite as interesting as it used to be, for me at least. As I say, you know, but it looks reasonably good. You've got an orange dot there, you know, it's not bad. Purple thing there. It's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. Oh, hi there, Joe. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Yeah. Happy Saturday to you. It's nice and bright in the UK now. It was a bit dark for a second, but it's nice and bright. Lovely, lovely weather. Going in very much spring-like. But we're doing a winter puddings review today, just to basically get it done before it's literally out of date and it's no longer winter. I'm not too bad, Joe. I'm not too bad. How are you doing? How's things for you today? Yeah, so we've got a good selection coming up. As I say, so about to do. Maybe I should. Yeah, we'll assume this is the top. Okay, even though we're starting on the top left of the menu, but that's the bottom left of the box. So let's have a look at this individually. Look at it. So you can see here it is there with the W or the M. I don't know why it's got that on it, but you can see lots of, this is the Treacle Tart, so it's got lots of speckles on the top. The Hotel Chocolat makes more sense at the bottom. So it looks quite nice. You can see the sort of, I guess the top of the chocolate is seeping through the chocolate at the side, so you can see potentially there. Could be a fat separation, of course, but it's possibly the top. Yes. Doing great. Sunny there as well. Oh, great to hear, Joe. Great to hear. Glad it's nice weather there. But it probably is always sunny where you are, but yes. But good to hear. And it does look very nice. It does look a very lovely selection. It's one of those Hotel Chocolat ones. So unlike, this is the one that sort of the one we did last week was kind of based on. Whereas the one last week's about £4. about $7 US dollars. This one's about £14, so about, I don't know, yeah, what's that? I don't know how many. Yeah, kind of worked out that probably about yeah, about I don't know, $25, something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how many. About two thirds, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, so maybe two phones on top. Yeah, not sure actually. Maths again has gone out the window. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, the one was so about just about a slight bit more. So that's probably a bit too exaggeration. Maybe about $20, something like that. I'm not too sure actually. I'm just trying. I'm making relatively random numbers, but yeah, yeah. I think it's yeah. I think that's possibly about right. I think £1 is roughly about. I think $1 is roughly about 70p. So it's about two thirds on or something like that. I think, but I could be wrong there. That's usually how I've done it. Yeah. So. Yeah, so I guess it's probably about, I don't know, maybe it's up towards $20 maybe. 18.5. Oh, there we go, $18.5. That was nearly right with 20. I think it's a 24 or some random number at first. I think 20 was more my rough guesstimate. So 18.5 sounds a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, nice one, Joe. There we go. So still quite quite steep. But thanks for that, Joe. According to the internet, it's better. The internet's more reliable than maybe not actually. I don't think it's more reliable than me, but I think in this case the internet is definitely more reliable than me. So we can trust that. Thanks for looking that up, Joe. Thank you. Yeah, so there we go. So quite an expensive selection, I think, you'd say. But there we are. So let's move down a bit. Give it the old once over before we taste it. Yeah, let's go. There we go. Whoop, not too far there. There we are. Okay. That wire out of the way. So there we go. Nice clean plate. Won't remain that way, but we'll keep it as long as we can. So let's just change the tone down the colour a bit. Just gets a bit too bright sometimes. Okay, there we go. There we are. Right, so we'll give it a quick measure then. Now it's frilly at the side, so the measurements will have to obviously cater for that. So let's just check we have 1, 0. Okay, yes. So the height, about 2 centimetres in height, 1.797. The width at the bottom, obviously, it's quite difficult to get it right at the bottom, but we'll see what we can do. And again, it's got those frills. Might be better to do with a ruler, actually. 2.4. At the top, we'll do it in between the frills as best we can. About 3.2, and with the frills, roughly. Let's say roughly, quite very roughly. About 3.4. Sounds about right. Okay, let's give this one a chop then. It's a nice looking chocolate. Shame to chop it, but we have to do it. Yes. Yeah, part of the 10% we can trust. Yes. Well, you guess. Yes, you guessed. Yeah. Well, this is it. But yeah, I think it's I think it's safe to say that that's probably reliable because, well, you could argue there's lots of issues with exchange rates and stuff and how they could be manipulating things. I guess at the end of the day, the end result is still what we all have to adhere to. So in this case, yes, we can trust it. Whether we can trust the mechanism that makes that number is another matter. But that's yeah. Right. Let's give it a bit of a chop then. We'll chop it from the side. There we go. All right. So there we go. So not bad. There is some we can see on the knife has come off with a bit of a liquidy caramel. So there's a bit of a caramel bottom there. You can see the liquid there. Not bad. I sliced it from the side because if you don't slice it from the side, it will collapse inwards. You can see the W has a bit of substance as well. It does go down a bit of the M. Does go down a bit into the top. What was the actual thing then? A childhood favourite: thick caramel with a squeeze of lemon, served in milk. Topped with cornflakes and that classic pastry texture. So apparently the top is like a pastry. This sounds interesting, this one. This does sound quite an interesting one. Yeah, you can see the thick chocolate surround. Thick caramel bottom. Relatively, let's say it's going to be this. Let's say caramels in these sort of artisanal chocolate selections tend to be quite burnt. So I think for a change it might work in this case because when I say burnt taste, so they taste a bit like treacle basically. And since this is a treacle tart, I think it might work for a change. So yes, so we'll see. But there we go. That's what we're up against. If it focuses in, I don't know why it doesn't focus. I don't know why it doesn't focus in. Sometimes if I lift the plate up, then it sort of gets. Then it understands to look at the top. Although having that IKEA knife in the background probably won't help too much. Yeah. Technology, eh? Yeah, I don't really, I don't know. If I just cover the whole screen with my hands, maybe that'll be better. I don't know, it just doesn't want to focus in for some reason. It's usually okay, but today it's deciding against it. We'll move that knife out of the way, see if that makes a difference. It's still focusing on the back one here for some reason. It's focusing on this one. There we go. So I kind of wanted to focus on that one really, but there we are. I guess it's kind of focusing in on there. It's a bit further away now, which is a bit of a pain. There we go. I think you get the gist of it anyway from that. Okay, hopefully. Alright, okay, there we go. Alright, well let's lift this up and give it a taste. Yeah, so it looks quite nice. I think this one might be a win. Now we do have the first chocolate syndrome issue where this is the first chocolate, and of course I've you know, I'm all excited and ready for chocolate at the moment. After about 15 of these, 14 of them, maybe I won't be as much. So you do have to bear that in mind, but there we go. Okay, let's give this a go. Let's give it a taste. Move the plate back a bit. Okay, let's do it. Just have a look at the bottom. The bottom separates on this one a bit, so you can see the caramel, runny caramel sticking to it there. You can see that. It's quite a thick caramel, but it's still liquidy. So there we go. Let's give it a taste. It's got crunchy bits in there for sure. I did say it had crunchy cereal pieces. The top bit it said try to replicate some kind of pastry. I'm not sure it does that. I mean, it's something, but not bad. Interesting, but strangely enough, the caramel doesn't taste that much that very treacle-like. You know, even though they can't help themselves making the caramels have a bit of a burnt taste in these selections usually. Not necessarily Hotel Chocolat, but generally sort of, I say these artisanal chocolate selections tend to have quite a burnt caramel taste whenever they do a runny caramel. This one doesn't taste that way at all, so it doesn't really taste like treacle. Which is bizarre, as I say. It tastes more like I can kind of get a bit of that lemon it mentions. I probably wouldn't have said it was there if I wasn't looking for it, but I can taste a bit of a zing. It's not that lemony, but there's something. The crunch is like a little sort of brittle, or crumble, or something very, very small little bits of crunch. But there's no real treacle taste to this at all, and I'm surprised by that because it's probably the easiest thing to do. I would have said. So yeah, so it's I don't know. I'm certainly not getting a treacle tart flavour from it. I'm certainly not getting a treacle flavour from it, or a tart. I think it's got something in it. As I say, it's got that smooth, sort of creamy topper, which is what kind of what it tastes like, a sort of smooth, creamy type taste. Yeah, I'm really not getting treacle tart from this. It's not bad or anything. You know, it's not unpleasant. It's relatively nice. It's just nothing great at all, really. As I say, it doesn't taste like treacle tart. It doesn't really have anything. I don't know. Yeah, it just tastes a bit creamy, really, and it's got a bit of a caramel there, but the caramel's quite relatively sweet. Doesn't really taste of treacle. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing really treacle. I mean, treacle tart as well. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, one of those. I think it's as I say, quite a thick caramel, which they have achieved with the treacle side of it. But I really don't. As I say, treacle's got a very distinct burnt caramel taste, and you're just not getting that. And I think that's all they had to achieve with this, really. They could have had all the fluff around it, you know, this pastry topper and cereal pieces or whatever, you know, and that doesn't. They could have had that, and it would have been fine. But what really needed to have was that sort of burnt treacle taste, and they've not got that. And since I've tasted that taste so often in these chocolate selections, in all the other ones, whenever they do a caramel. It always tastes of treacle. Has a sort of burnt taste to it, and the fact that the one that's meant to taste like treacle doesn't have it, I find that quite. I don't know. Disappointing. It's okay. This one, it's okay. It's one of those. I think for me, it's probably. I would say probably. It's quite interesting. It looks quite nice. It's not horrible or anything. Chocolate selections, though, are quite. They're one of those really. They're kind of quite sort of. I don't know. What would you say? Let's just see. I think. I think it's probably sort of like. I don't know. It's for chocolate selections. They're kind of quite. This is quite a below average taste, I think, for me. I think I would say. This is I don't know. I don't want to be too harsh on it, but it's probably I don't know. What am I saying? I think for me, it is quite below average taste, but for chocolate selections, I guess nowadays, having tasted so many of them, it's actually turns out to be quite average. But I don't think I can really say it's quite an average taste, even despite that. So I think for me, I'm still going to go with it being a below average as a whole of chocolate selections, and say it's probably. I'm going to go in between. I'm going to say 2.5 out of 5. I was tempted to go 2 out of 5, and I was thinking, well, actually, it's probably an average taste for a chocolate selection chocolates because they're usually not that great. But I think I'll go in the middle and say 2.5 out of 5. It's not bad, but it's not a treacle toffee, a treacle tart, or anything like that. It's kind of like it's just a nice taste, but it's disappointing that it's nothing like treacle tart really, and I think that would have been quite easy for them to achieve. Okay, so I'm just going to try and sort out this knife. We've got to get rid of all the caramel from it, so it won't be a second. And then we'll just wipe the plate as well. Okay. Okay. I need 2 cloths actually nowadays, I think, but there we are. There we go. Righto, so there we are. So what have we got next? Let's have a see. Right, let's have a look. Yes, it did look great. It did look very nice. And they're not horrible, these ones. I'm going to emphasise that again. I'll just move the menu back while I emphasise this. They're not horrible in any way. I'm saying this is a 2.5 out of 5. Remember, the average chocolate does taste nice. But this one, it didn't really taste of anything, you know, anything like treacle toffee. It's and I think, like I've said before, and I'll say it again really now, these chocolate selections basically are meant usually for gifts for people generally. So in which case, part of it is just looking the part and having the price. It's what we were talking about last week. So when you buy a gift for someone, you don't generally buy them 10 penny sweets, which are basically 10p's worth of sweets, you know, or even £1's worth of them. You'll buy them something that has a reasonable cost behind it, because that's, you know, unfortunately, that's kind of half the measurement of a present, isn't it? So what these chocolate selections do is they generally look the part. And have lots of things that look interesting, but generally don't really have much of a substance behind them, and that's what I'm finding with a lot of these. They just don't have much substance. It's not to say that they're not nice, and it's not to say that I wouldn't love eating them or like receiving them, but they don't tend to have, as I say, the substance to back them up. And in this case, it didn't taste anything like treacle toffee, you know, it's or treacle tart. You know, it had lots of different textures and looked fancy, and it had all these, you know, cereal bits and the pastry stuff on the top. But again, you know, just didn't, as I say, just didn't actually have anything behind it. So yeah, but it did look nice, and it was still tasty. It's not that I disliked it, but it's below average, I would have said, as the chocolate goes. And that's why it was, yeah, 2.5 out of 5. It looked the part. It was upper half a mark because it looked reasonably nice, like Joe says. You know. Okay, so caramelized biscuit. Here we go. So this is your speculoos one. This is the top left, second from the top on the left. Right, let's have a look. So yeah, inspired by a Dutch festive favourite. Yes, Sinterklaas, I think it is called. Yes, 4th of December, I think. Think nibbly caramel. Well, let's have. I'm going to read this close up. I'm not going to read off the screen because I can't. So, think nibbly caramel Florentine. I think it says almond and hazelnut praline and cocoa biscuit in a milk cup. Okay, so what we've got here then is basically your sort of, we've got your nutmeggy type flavours going on, but it's still a hazelnut praline. It's that every chocolate selection, when in doubt, make it a hazelnut praline basically, or a praline of some kind, but typically hazelnut. So we've got the sort of typical thing going on again here. So it's one of those. So we've got 2 of these. So I think let's have a look again. So which one? Right. So we've got the peanut butter cookie, which will probably be Zhao's favourite, which is not too far back behind on with me, I think, either. I can't tell which one's what here, because you can see these at the bottom. So possibly this is the peanut butter one, possibly this is the speculoos one. I think I might be able to tell from the smell for these ones. That smelled quite peanut buttery actually. The one I thought was going to be the thingy. Let's have a see. Yeah, sorry, you can't see my face here. Yes. Trying to determine. Well, this one looks more peanut buttery to me. This one looks like your speculoos, but I think actually this one is the peanut butter. I can't tell. I'll tell you what. We'll go for one, and we'll review whichever one we come across. So I think this one smells speculoosy, but it might not be. But we'll give it a go and see what happens. Okay. Right. So I'll tell you what. Let's give it a look out here. So we can see here. Let's see. They both look quite similar, really. We've got 6 little cocoa bits on top. This one's got 7, so I've been shortchanged slightly. Because it hasn't fallen off either, there's no indent where it was. But it could just be that for some reason they feel that the one of them works better with 7 than 6. Okay, well there we go. So I think, as I say, I believe this is a Speculoosy one. There's not a strong Speculoosy. I would expect quite a strong, that kind of nutmeggy, cinnamony type smell from it, but I'm not getting that. Okay, but here you go. Got that sort of typical generic Hotel Chocolat bottom on with a CH. There we are. Okay, right, so let's go down a bit. Okay. Right. Okay, so move the thing out of the way. So let's give this a bit of a measure then. So get your calipers out. Yeah. Would you say peanut butter chocolate's your favourite then, Joe? Is that the gist of it? Do you like any other kind of butter as well? I've seen almond butter and hazelnut butter in some Snickers bars, but it's quite rare. 333, look at that. 3.3, and down to the top. The bottom. Might turn the brightness down in a second. It's quite bright on my screen. 3.1 at the bottom. Let's try again. Say just a tick. Got 3.3 again there. Is it 3.3? So pretty much a spot on square here, or whatever, equal size. You probably wouldn't get that in other chocolate companies. So that's one thing you could say that Hotel Chocolat does, but I'm not sure if it's worth the extra £10. Okay, 1.3 in height, 1.36, 1.4 so. Okay, so it looks reasonably nice. We've done the measurements there. Let's just adjust the coloration to stop it being. Okay, there we go. Right. Okay. Let's give this a bit of a chop. See what we're well, I was going to chop it from the side, but every side's not from the top. Is the gist of it. Okay. Quite crikey. We're not really chopped in half there. It's skipped off to one side. Not sure why that was, but there we go. So you can see in the middle there, it looks definitely like a biscuit. It did make a bit of a loud noise there. Apologies for that. So this could be peanut butter. Let's have a. I think it is a Speculoos one. I think it is. It's not a very strong smell. I would expect a stronger smell from it. So it's got, I think, nibbly caramel. It says nibbly caramel, furentine, almond and hazelnut praline, and cocoa biscuit in a milk cup. So basically a biscuit with a sort of, I guess, like a sort of almond and hazelnut praline on top, maybe. Doesn't look like to be a praline in the middle. And there's sort of biscuity bits on the top. Alright, let's give it a bit of a taste then. Let's move up. So it could turn out to be the peanut butter one, in which case, but it's could be wrong. But we'll see how it goes. But it looks an interesting one. Either way. Just adjust the coloration to get it back to being right again. Okay, there we go. Right. Alright, let's give this a go. Give it a taste. It was a Speculoos one in the end, but it's not too strong a Speculoosy taste, but it is I'll definitely say I've had stronger Speculoosy tastes, but it's quite subtle. It's nice, I guess, in a way that it's a bit more subtle than usual, but whenever I've had Speculoos elsewhere, even like say Twix or something, it has been a bit stronger, but nonetheless actually it's not bad. It works. I'm not against the strength of it, but I don't know. I mean, all this other stuff, hazelnut praline, almond, stuff like this. I'm not. Well, maybe a slight almond aftertaste, maybe. Don't know. But then if it was there, I'd probably be complaining that it was there. So, okay, I'll let it off that. I think you do get a bit of a biscuity, Speculoosy type taste. It's a bit one note though, really. I think I'm not really getting. I don't know. It's okay. I think it's okay. Insofar as actually being a Speculoos biscuit, but I think I've been expecting a bit more from a chocolate around surrounding it. I don't know. I'm not really getting that much of interest as far as the chocolate's concerned. I'm getting kind of like quite a strong sort of biscuity type vibe, which I guess is fine. I like the crunch on the top bits. There's plenty of little nibbly, I guess what I'd describe as brittly, very micro crunches. I guess you could say. There's like you get those very small, very fine grain little crunches in some chocolates. You get that again, which I had in the other one as well. It's not bad. It's not too bad. I think that the problem generally is that there's not much else going on other than the biscuit part. I wasn't getting much chocolate really with it. I'm kind of glad that I can't taste hazelnut and almond that well, although I did get a slight almondy taste, but that's fair enough. Well, that's fine. But I don't know. Yeah, it's despite all this text here, there's not that. I don't know. It's just not that much to it. But it's okay. It's fine. Again, it's fine. I think like the other one, it's fine. It's got a speculoos taste, but not that strong. I might like a bit of a stronger taste. Speculoosy type, that nutmeggy, cinnamony type taste. I feel like I probably would like it a bit stronger, but it's okay. And there's no real smell from it either, but they might have tried not to have the smell too strong because then it would affect all the other chocolates. So I can kind of appreciate that. I feel like it just should have more chocolate in it. Like as we saw from it here, when you look at this, there's not much chocolate going on really. There's that top of that soft top, but you don't really get much from that, and that's not chocolate really. And then there's the biscuit in the middle. There's the chocolate on the left and the bottom and the right, which is relatively thick, but you're basically just getting the biscuit, especially these top bits as well. So, I'd like a chocolate middle, something a bit more chocolatey about it. I think when we all have biscuits, we can. It's a general consensus that a biscuit with chocolate on is better than a biscuit without. And you kind of get into this is more biscuit than chocolate. And I think in a chocolate selection, I would expect it to have more chocolate than biscuit. I think it'd be a chocolate with speculoos accompaniment, not biscuit with chocolate accompaniment. So again, I feel it's a bit like the other one, really. And I think it relatively works. To say relatively, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5 again. I think it's okay. But again, it's just it's not horrible taste. It's not horrible in any way, but it's nothing that much going for it really. It's just a very okay taste. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine, and I think you don't really want. And you might argue that fine is average, and that's a 3. But I think fine you would eat. I think you'd expect a bit more than fine from a chocolate selection, and I think when I have the average chocolate, it's better than fine. You know what I mean? So yeah. So it's not bad. It's fine. Okay, so 2.5 out of 5. On another day, that could have been 2 out of 5. But don't want to. I feel like it's reasonably nice though, and I'm not going to I feel like it deserves a bit more than a 2 out of 5. But it's definitely not. It's definitely closer to a 2 than a 3. Let's put it that way. Now don't forget everyone as well. I've reviewed lots of these chocolate selections. I don't know how many I've reviewed now, but quite a lot of them. So obviously it's all subjective and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, I'm not tasting anything that different from all the other ones. You know what I mean? So, so again, that's another factor into it as well. Right. So what have we got next? Let's have a look. Let's have a see. Right, a nice colourful one. It's a shame to have this one so soon because it does knock the coloration variation down quite a lot. The coloration variation. I'm going to have to trademark that. So we've got blackcurrant cheesecake. So an interesting one. I have a feeling we'll see how blackcurrant this is. I'm worried that the blackcurrant will only extend to that purple on the top, but we'll see. I could be surprised. So what does it say? Forage fruit apparently. Okay, forage fruit, perfected. All right, there we go. Pressed blackcurrants with a cheesecake mascarpone tang. Well, mascarpone is definitely what I would say a cheesecake needs to have. None of this Philadelphia stuff, none of this cream cheese stuff. It has to be mascarpone, but it's ridiculously calorific. I don't know, 100% fat almost or something like that, but it's got to be mascarpone for me. So if you ever make a cheesecake, don't put, unless you love Philadelphia, of course, use mascarpone. Pressed blackcurrants with a cheesecake mascarpone tang. It says a mascarpone tang. Now, does that mean it's got mascarpone in it? I don't know. With white. Oh yeah, whipped with white, sealed in dark. Okay, so that means whipped with white chocolate, sealed in dark chocolate, I assume. All right, so there we go. So I'll read that again. Foraged fruits, perfected. Pressed blackcurrants with a cheesecake mascarpone tang. Whipped with white, sealed in dark. Oh. Well, that talk made me made me need a drink. Yes, we do have variety. Well, there we go. This is it. Well, that's another thing, John. That will be taken into account for the overall rating of it, I think. Individually, you can't sort of bear that in mind. But overall, with the selection, yes, definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, but you're right. There's definitely a variety here. So let's have a look at this one, and it definitely looks the part. It says, and it does have the white and dark chocolate, which is good. You can clearly see, well, at least a dark surrounding the cupcake case. And the white coloured topper with those sprinkles in as well, sprinkles of something, don't know what it is. And that purple top, I'm hopeful that that's not the extent of the black currant in here. Now I'll move down a bit. It's going to be the same size as the other ones, but we'll measure it. As the other one had a similar shape, but we will measure it. So let's see. But yeah, you're right, Jerry, exactly. And I think that's the thing as well. That's another thing that definitely works in its favour, having this variety. But again, if it doesn't really, if they don't taste of what they're meant to taste like particularly, then the variety's kind of lost a bit there, isn't it? So it's another thing to bear in mind. Okay, so the width of the top with the frills, we'll do it in between the frills as roughly as we can, about 3.2, 3.25 almost. And then with the frills, difficult to get a perfect measurement here, so you have to, basically 2 millimeters more, I would have said, about 3.4, yeah, one of those. Okay, and then the height, let's see, so about 2 centimeters in height there. Okay, and then let's have a look. And the width at the bottom is about 2.5. There we go. So yeah, all right. There we are. So we'll see. Not too bad there. Okay, now let's give it a chop in half. So I'll chop it from the side again. I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. Not bad then. So we do have a definite black currant going on. So it's basically just replaced the caramel from the last one, the first one, with black currant here, or black currant tang, or whatever it was referred to it as. Not too bad. So you can see it's very liquidy on the knife there. Not too bad here at all. So I'll tell you what, just the coloration, just to make it a bit darker. Let's have a see if I can. I'll pick the right one to do it on. Okay. Right, there we are. Let's have a look. Okay. There we go. Right, so hopefully you can see that a bit. Not too bad. So I'm quite pleased there. There is quite a lot going on as far as the black currant's concerned. You can definitely see something there. I'm just trying to get it to focus in a bit better. Hopefully it will. There we go. I think it's a bit more. There we are. So you can see lots of speckles as well in the top. Yeah, not too bad. I'm not sure what those speckles are though particularly. I don't know if they belong there. I think it's as if they've just kept them from the other one. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So it could be one of them. Perhaps it shouldn't really be there, but we'll see. Okay. All right, let's give this one a taste. All right, let's have a look. Right. Okay. Right, so let's give it a go. See what it's like. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's give it. It looks quite nice. It looks quite nice. I quite like the look of this one. Definitely got a nice look to this one. It doesn't fall apart, but there we are. That's like fun. Okay, falling apart here in front of me. Just the chocolate surround actually, so you can see there quite a thick chocolate, dark chocolate surround. Yeah, not too bad that. All right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a taste. Well, they've added that sort of wow. It does have quite a nice tarty taste to it. Not bad actually. Not bad. The problem with this one, they've actually got the flavour really well in this one. I'll start with the positives. It's really nice. It's got a lovely tang to it. The blackcurrant tang is definitely there. There's definitely a blackcurrant taste, which is what you'd expect. There's a bit of the creamy topper, which is there, and they've added a bit of crunch to it, which I think is meant to represent the sort of the cheesecake biscuit bottom, which is fine. I think I would have preferred an actual layer of biscuit or something rather than that. I don't know why they've not done that particularly. Instead of they could have done that. I don't know why they've not done it, but they could have done. So an interesting one, that one. So they've kind of got basically they've got the blackcurrant taste right. They've tried to replicate the biscuit bottom with a little sort of crumbly, that sort of brittle taste again, which is okay. It's there. And there's a bit of a creamy taste to it. The problem with this one is the dark chocolate, because it really is prominent. It's prominent enough. It's not massively prominent, but it's prominent. You can taste it. So who has dark chocolate with a cheesecake? You know, when you have a cheesecake, there's never dark chocolate on it. So why is the dark chocolate here? You know, it's just a stupid decision. Why not have it encased in white chocolate? You know, because then it would at least work with the cream. Or, you know, you could have some kind of mixture, but at least it would accompany it. Basically, you need to have some kind of shell on the outside of a chocolate to keep it encased, basically. But for some strange reason, they've picked dark chocolate, and now that kind of works with the flavour of blackcurrant and cherry and things like this. It's not too bad. It does work with it, but not as a cheesecake, not in cheesecake form. A cheesecake doesn't have dark chocolate on it. Not as a prominent flavour anyway. You know what I mean? It just doesn't really. So unfortunately, it kind of gets in the way of the cheesecake part of it as the blackcurrant part. It's all right, but it doesn't really work, I don't think, as a flavour combination. Now, one of my favourite chocolate bars from a couple of years back was the Ghirardelli's cherry and dark chocolate. Was it cherry? Was it blackcurrant? I think it was cherry. It was really nice. Now, it could easily have been blackcurrant. It would have still been just as lovely, really. But the gist of it was a really nice flavour combination. It worked really well. Now, dark chocolate does work well technically with this kind of thing, but not as a cheesecake. So it's just a bit of a silly combination. I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand why they've done that. Now, it's a bit of a, I don't know, you could argue here I'm over-interpreting it, over-analysing it or whatever. But for me, blackcurrant cheesecake, that's what it is. And blackcurrant cheesecake doesn't have a predominantly or a dominant dark chocolate flavour to it. And that's what this has, unfortunately. And I don't think it's really done in a way that really brings out the best of both flavours. Even like I say, there's sort of that Ghirardelli dark chocolate and cherry and other, you know, various sort of dark chocolate and sort of fruity combinations work pretty well. But in this case, I don't really think it does for some reason, because I think you're trying to achieve like a creamy taste with the topper. You know, you're trying to get that so that mascarpone type taste. But again, it's all lost with the dark chocolate taste. That dark chocolate just dominates the rest of it, really, and its taste, you can taste it through the blackcurrant as well. So yeah, I like this one. It is quite nice, this one. You can definitely get the blackcurrant on it. It just fails as a blackcurrant cheesecake, really. But that's not to say I don't dislike it. I think it's quite nice, but I don't think again the combination of the blackcurrant flavour and the dark chocolate in this case doesn't work as well as other combinations of a sort of very sort of tart, sweet, fruity flavour like cherries and things like this, and dark chocolate that I've tasted elsewhere. And I think that's purely because the blackcurrant in this case is quite tart rather than sweet. You know, which you could argue it's meant to be, which is fine, but I don't believe it works that well together. So I think for me, I think it's a 3 out of 5. Definitely a step up, this one. It's definitely a step up, but it's not really, but again, it doesn't come across as cheesecake at all. You know, it really doesn't. It's not, you know, it just doesn't. So again, another one that's more style over substance, basically. But it's not bad. It's still a nice taste. I like it. But I've tasted better dark chocolate and sort of fruity mixes than this one. Yeah, so there we go. One of those. Yeah. Okay, all right. So I'll just, as I say, just rid of the crumbs from that one. It's not too bad so far, but nothing exceptional. I don't think. It's more the fact that the flavour combinations have not been that great, or the flavours themselves have not been that great so far. But they've generally been relatively nice sweets, and I say relatively nice. I mean, as I say, they've been pretty, you know, nothing outstanding, but nice enough. But yeah, nothing too dramatic at the moment. Yeah, so it's one of those. Yeah. Okay, right, so let's have a look. So what have we got next? Yeah, so here we go. Well, in fact, why am I showing you that? I've got it up here, haven't I? Right, Christmas Mess. Now, we have reviewed this one in another one of their selections. I remember this one for sure. I'll eat a mess given a festive makeover. Subtle cinnamon with cranberry white. Now, I believe, so we have kind of reviewed this one before. Oop, went a bit small there. We'll go for we'll review it again anyway. I think this one might have suffered similar issues to the other ones, but I can't recall for sure. Let's see. So we'll just so yeah, I could be inconsistent with my review scores here, so feel free to point me out on it. But it could just be depending on the day, depending on the selection, this, that, and the other. But this one definitely looks great. This one does have the white chocolate surround, so they can do a white chocolate surround. So there's no excuse for them not doing that with the mascarpone one, the cheesecake one. Now they should have done, and I don't know why they didn't. You know what I mean? It just makes pure sense to do it. Now, unfortunately, this one we might have the issue where, again, over reliance on the topper for a major part of the chocolate here. So we've got, like, as I say, a lot of sort of meringue bits on the top. But yeah, well, let's go move down a bit and give it a bit of a go. Let's have a look. Okay. Right, let's have a see. Okay. Right, let's get the old measurements out. Just lower the brightness a bit as well, just again. Okay, there we go. Right, just so it's not too bright. So it's quite bright though, I think. You know, I don't know. Yeah, one of those. I think it's just the plate, the contrast between the plate and the black background. I think 1.73 in height. Bad. Now here's what's the shape? It's a hexagon, I think. So yeah, so we'll have to. Yeah, so it should be all right. It should be easy to measure this one. Okay, about 3 centimeters in width, maybe 3.1. If you want to round it up, and at the bottom. About 2.75, so it's also about 3 millimeters pretty much. They do, of course, yeah. Okay. Right, there we go. So it looks quite nice. It's got a nice pinky look to it. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see if we can hopefully get it the brightness to stabilise. There we go. You can see again, there's like little, does have those little bits inside the pink as well. So it looks quite nice. So you can see the clear hexagon, a lightness to the hexagon on the top. In the centre, which I'm not sure about. I don't know why that's there. Okay, let's give it a bit of a chop. Okay. There we go. So you can, no, not bad. So you can see there's a sort of, you can definitely see there's a difference to the topper than there is to the middle there. Interesting one. So you can see the topper is a slight difference to the middle, and I don't know what that difference really is. I don't think there's much of a hint in the description. Pressed black currants with a cheesecake mascarpone tang, whipped with white. Oh, that's the wrong one. Heat a mess, festive makeover, subtle cinnamon with cranberry white. Okay, so yeah, all right. So it's got a bit of a, does have a bit of a slight cinnamon smell as you get quite close to it. But I don't know what the difference in the between the topper. The top pink part and the middle pink part is. It's falling apart now. Okay, you can see there's like a sort of, there's two layers there, isn't there? There's a bit at the top and a bit in the middle. Don't know what the difference to that is. Could be the bit at the top is mixed with white chocolate and the centre is just pure middle maybe. Not too sure. Alright, let's give this one a taste. Again, I'm a bit, yeah, I don't know, it's, yeah, it look again. It just, I feel like just immediately I can tell you that I feel like that meringue top is not enough. I feel like it needs to have a layer of it, like it's got a layer of pink. Why is that not just a layer of meringue? You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of the problem again. You know, they've been a bit too, trying to be a bit too clever with it. You know what I mean? But all right, yeah, let's taste the one with a bit more meringue pieces. I think we'll need a bit more meringue for it. Let's go. Okay. Not bad actually, not bad. You get that cinnamon taste to it, which is intended. I mean, it's clearly you know, a novelty. It's not really meant to be there in the regular eating. I think this one isn't too bad actually. This one, you know, I think it gets because it's got white chocolate in it. It gets that sort of creaminess across to you, which was missing in the cheesecake one. You definitely tell that makes a difference. It has a cinnamon taste to it, which I think really. I'd rather it didn't, but of course this is meant to be the winter selection, so they've added that cinnamon taste to it, so it's there. I think it's okay. It could do with a bit more meringue in it, really. I think, and again, like I thought, that is a problem. And even though I had a bit with the more meringue on it, the other half had less. Of course, you'd probably eat the chocolate as a whole. I think it is a problem with it, really, but I think it comes across nice enough, and it's a bit more one-notey though. This one, like all the others, have got these lots of different textures and tastes and things, but they don't work particularly well in what they're trying to achieve. This one has fewer but it manages to achieve what it's trying to do. And I'm not sure what to make of that, because of course that is better than it achieved what it tried to do. But I feel like it should have. Why has it not got more in it than like the other ones? Why has it not got like a meringue brittle? Like the others have got brittle, try to achieve the like the cheesecake base and things. Why has this one not got meringue brittle to try and give you a bit more of a meringue texture and things? You know, so it's strange that this one they haven't done it and they've just relied on the meringue topper, which isn't enough. Like, you know, you could elaborate on some more of that as well. You could include more things. So yeah, I think this one's definitely a bit of a step up. It's got a nice zingy taste for the sort of you know, for the fruit. Was it raspberry? Was it? I think it was raspberry. Cranberry says cranberry white. Yeah, I think Eaton messes raspberry, but it could be, well, either way. It's like, you know, typical sort of zingy taste. I think it's raspberry anyway, but yeah, I don't think, you know, it's hard to tell really. It doesn't really come across as striking me as, you know, definitively something, but I think it's raspberry anyway. But it tastes, you can taste that anyway. I think it's quite nice, this one. I think it comes out a bit better than the other ones, basically. Yeah, I think for me this was probably a 3.5 out of 5. I think only just though. I think again it's definitely on the 3 side rather than the 4 side. Yeah, you know, again, yeah, it could be a 3 out of 5 on another day, this one, and I think, you know, it's a hard one to say, but it's definitely probably the best one so far. I just feel like they could have added more to this one to give it more of a sort of meringue feel to it, and it's not got enough of it. Either a layer of it or the brittle or both, really. Yeah, I feel like they've tried to make it look the part rather than taste the part, with the little meringue pieces. So it's one of those. Yeah, so there we go. Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Hi there, Matthew. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thank you. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, hope you're doing all right. Enjoying your Saturday. Yes, let's have a see. So not bad, that one. Not too bad. Definitely an interesting one, but again, you know, I think it could be that it's only a 3.5 because compared to the others. Basically, I'm not sure, but yeah, not too bad though. Definitely a step up. There. Ooh, got a chocolate on my finger here. Just, wipe it off. Got chocolate all over the mouse. Let's try and sort that out if we can without clicking the mouse button too many times. Okay, right, there we go. Alright. Okay, so let's try the next one then. So what have we got here? We have Mousse au Chocolat here. A perfect balance of cocoa and cream. Okay. Well, this one I think is going to be relatively straightforward, this one, where it's just going to be pretty much, yeah, basically a sort of chocolate mousse centre, really, which is, you know, I guess it's fine. Not too bad, thank you, Matthew. Yes, what are you eating at the moment? Anything nice? Yeah, hope you're having a good day. But yeah, not too bad so far. Nothing too spectacular, but not too bad. Yeah. So let's have a look. So let's try and get this one out. Difficult to, got out quite easy. So here we go. It's just this sort of, we've seen this one before, like a very rich cocoa dusting on the outside, because it's coming on my fingers there. There is like a little nubbin at the bottom there, so you can stand it up. Basically a sphere of indulgence, I think this one will be. Basically, just move some of the crumbs out the way. Okay, right. Let's move down a bit. With a measure in this, that, and the other. There we go. An orb of goodness. All right, let's have a see. So we'll give it a measure. So we'll measure it with the nubbin at the bottom. Get the sort of diameter, I guess. 2.75, 2.6. Now I'll measure the width there, about 2.79. So yeah, about goes between 2.75 to 2.78, basically 79. Not too bad. Yeah, one of those. That's out with the groceries, I see. Hope everyone's all right there, Joe. Hope everyone's okay. Did you get anything nice in the groceries? Hopefully something good for tea. Yeah. Fish fingers and mash. Not too bad. That's not too bad at all, Matthew. Sure you'll enjoy that. Okay, right. Let's tone the brightness down. So I'm expecting this one to be a bit more one note, but nonetheless, not too bad. Let's give a bit of a chop then. Expecting like a thick chocolatey centre. There we go. Oh yes, look at that. A bit messy on one side, but this one you can clearly see very sort of thick chocolate indulgence there. I think that's kind of what we expected. A bit of a no-nonsense one, this one. Basically just a thick chocolate fondant centre. Yeah, is the gist of it. We've had this one before. The perfect balance of cocoa and cream. A bit like, this one's probably going to be a bit like a Lindor, really. You know, something along those lines. Alright, so I don't think there's much to say, but quite a thick chocolate surround, that's for sure. It's going to be quite a rich chocolate. Did I actually say it's dark chocolate or not? Not sure. But it might be dark chocolate. Might be. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's lift myself up. Okay, let's have a see. Yes, and I'll just adjust the brightness again. Okay, there we go. There we are. Lovely, lovely. Yes, looks nice. Yes, yeah, it doesn't look too bad unless you mean your tea, of course. But either way, I'm sure. Yeah, this one looks quite pretty good. We'll see if it's we'll see if it tastes the part, Matthew. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's have a see. All right, let's give it a go. This isn't bad. This one. It's a bit more indulgent and rich than a Lindor. It's the same texture on the inside. It melts in the mouth and things, but it's very much richer taste. It's a dark chocolate centre. This one. And the surround is quite dark as well. And the cocoa powder on the outside gives it a rich taste as well. So it's a very rich chocolate, this one. Very nice. But the centre's not massively rich as such, but it's richer than a Lindor. Like Lindors for me, I'm not a big fan of. They're too sickly. Generally. But this one's actually very nice. It's lovely rich centre. This is actually a good chocolate, this. It's a bit more one note, you might say. But I don't think... But I would say conversely it isn't. I mean, even though it's just got one centre, the fact it's got the cocoa dust on the outside gives it a nice rich sort of taste on the tongue. Then the chocolate surround is quite thick and crunchy almost. It's got a nice bite to it, a nice crunch when you bite it. And then the centre's really liquidy and melts in the mouth. It's very nice, this one, actually. This is very nice. Yeah, lovely one, this one. I say really more indulgent, as I say, if you're not a fan of I wouldn't say it's a massively dark chocolate taste. I think this is on the perfect side of dark chocolate, where it's like about 40% to 50% taste. It comes across as anyway. Whether it actually is, I can't say, but it comes across as that, as in the actual taste of it. And to me, that's the perfect dark chocolate richness for me. No, I do like this one a lot. I think this is a very good one. Yeah, we're talking on that upper end of the ratings, this one. This is where they've done it right, really. It's a bit more of a no-nonsense. They've just done it as it should be. Yeah, and it comes across very nice. Just trying to think, really, you know. I don't think it could go too massively overboard, but it's definitely a good one, this one. Seeing chocolate everywhere. I think for me this one's a 4.5 out of 5, this one. This is a cut above the rest. It's a massively better chocolate than the others, this one. It's really... It just works. It's more of a no-nonsense one. They've not tried to be too clever with it, but they've not needed to be, really. Lovely chocolate. Really nice and rich and indulgent. Lovely scent. Lovely contrasts in textures. And even though the way they've done it's not too clever like the rest of them, where they've got little bits of brittle and meringue pieces and different layers of other stuff that doesn't really matter. This one they've just got to the point and it's actually worked very well. Yeah, it's a really nice one, that one. Yeah, you're right, Joe. Yeah, good eye there, Joe. Yes, good eye there for Choc. It was a very nice one, that one. Lovely. Could even have given it a 5, I think, but I don't know. It's definitely more a 5 than a 4, that's for sure. Whereas the others have been more on the lower end. This one, yeah, on another day, maybe a 5, but very nice. Yeah. Offsets the other ones, yes. Well, you see, this is it. So they can do decent chocolate, and they can do something nice. You know, it's not just me just saying they're all rubbish. You know what I mean? It's just the other ones are just generally just not that great. You know, but that was very nice. Yeah, you probably wouldn't want a set of all of those. I mean, you could perhaps do 2 or 3 of them, but I think if you had 15 of those, it might be a bit much. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. That lovely chocolate. That one, massive cut above the others. Yeah, definitely. You know, you could. I mean, I don't think this is the case, but there is an argument to say, oh, hang on a second, it's only because the others are not that great that one seems so much better. But no, it's not. It is just generally a better chocolate. It's really a high quality, well thought out mix of textures and tastes. It's got everything, that one. Yeah, very nice chocolate. That. If you're not a massive fan of dark chocolate, you might struggle with it. You know, but if you just think Lindor but more elegant, more, you know, just more opulent, and just better, that's what you've got there. Yeah. Okay, so what have we got next? Let's have a look. We have Salted caramel cream. Okay, so this one might. I bet this one. Well, I could be wrong, but I bet this one has the salted caramel tasting a bit burnt, which should have been in the treacle tart. But there we go. So you can see this one underneath. Let's have a look. There we are. So it looks quite nice. This one. You would have thought these black bits on the top might have been more 3D than they are, as in actual like the meringue pieces on the Christmas mess one, but they're actually just blobs. They're not, you know. Yeah, they're not sticky up bits. So buttery caramel, it says. Well, it says buttery caramel, so let's hope that is the case. Whipping cream, a pinch of Grande salt. Okay, Grande salt. All right. Okay, Grande salt. Ooh, hang on, moving that about. Want to make it smaller. There we are. Ooh. There we go. Okay, we turned it upside down now. That's great. Let's try and flip it back. Can we do it? There we are. Okay. And there we go. There we are. We got it roughly back. Okay. Your favourite salted caramel. Good stuff. Yes, good stuff, Matthew. Yeah, it's always good salted caramel. So it says it's a buttery one. I think you could probably get away with not being buttery for salted caramel, really. I don't think you need it really to be buttery, but nonetheless, we'll find out. I think it looks very nice, this one. It's definitely a wider one than the others. You can see it's been filled in at the bottom. Yeah. Looks okay. All right, let's go down a bit. Let's have a look. So I'm interested about the fact they've said buttery, because they don't normally get the caramel to taste very buttery in these chocolate selections. So these posher ones. So we'll see. I'm definitely on the lookout for that. That's how a caramel should be. It should be buttery in my eyes, really, rather than this sort of treacly taste that they normally get, although they didn't achieve in the other one. So let's have a look. So maybe it won't be, maybe I'll be wrong and it won't be like the treacly taste one. So 3.4 in diameter. Check on the other side. About the same, about 3.45 there. Still about 3.4 maybe. And the height. Okay, 1.8. Okay, let's give it a bit of a chop. Right, let's give it a go. Okay, so quite let's see. Okay, so a bit of a no-nonsense one again. So quite a thick centre here of caramel. You can see it's not really come off on the knife, so it's not really. It's quite thicker than the other one. So when they've said buttery, I think they've meant thicker so far at least. Because it looks okay. A thick milk chocolate surround. You can see the white chocolate and the dark chocolate top a bit, so just lip service to them really. I don't think you're ever going to really taste that white and dark chocolate up there. You might slightly, but not really enough to make any difference. You can see that it's quite yeah, it's more a sort of fondanty centre, a bit like the sort of centre we had a minute ago with that the Mousse au Chocolat. It's not really runny caramel at all, this one. Okay, all right. Well, let's elaborate a bit. Let's elaborate a bit. Let's well, we could elaborate, I guess. But what I mean is, let's zoom up and give it a go. Okay. Elaborate. Yeah, well, we can do that, I guess, can't we? Now, did I adjust the brightness there? I think I did, but let's have a look. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, I didn't adjust it. All right. Okay, so let's give this one a taste. Again, obviously quite a thick centre here, but not really not what I would call a caramel. That, to be honest with you. This is buttery caramel, but again, buttery caramel for me is what you would get in, say, a Cadbury's caramel, or you know, a sort of golden barrel in Cadbury's roses. That would be a buttery caramel to me, not like this kind of thing. So we'll have a see. So let's give it a taste. Nonetheless, it comes across as that. It's a very it's a creamy caramel, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's a buttery one. It says a buttery caramel, whipping cream, a pinch of guacamole salt. I can definitely taste the cream. I would describe it as buttery, but it's definitely got a cream taste to it over that side of it. So I think they've achieved that, even though it's not really what I would call a caramel. Although it possibly is, but it's a bit too thick in consistency for me. It's not too bad actually, this one. Not too bad. I think it's I don't know, it's debatable as to whether it's caramel. I'm not going to class this as a caramel. I know you could argue that, you know, a caramel, you know, it can be as thick as you like and as hot on the other end. But for this one, for me, it's more of like, I say, like a ganache type sort of sense like the other one. I think that cream has caused that to happen. So it's a bit more like the the mousse au chocolat, the perfect balance of cocoa and cream. So you think again like a Lindor centre. It's more that than the caramel. Now you could argue that a caramel could come across as that consistency depending on what you do to it. But for me, you know, yeah, it's not a caramel for me. It's as I say, it's more like a Lindor centre. And there's certainly no salted taste to it. I can't taste. I mean, it's called salted caramel cream. You get the cream, you don't get the saltedness at all. You might have salt in there, and without the salt, you might taste different. I'm sure that probably would be the case. But for a salted caramel, I'm expecting a salt taste, and I'm certainly not getting that. I do get the buttery taste though. It does come across as like a buttery caramel, which I think is pretty good. I like that. But as I say, the cream side of it just takes over, and that's what makes it into something that's not a caramel for me. So it's okay. It's all right. This one, I think, as I say, it's more Lindor-y, this one, but it's not as sickly, so it's okay. I prefer it than a Lindor but it shouldn't be. For me, it shouldn't be a Lindor. I'm expecting a salted caramel chocolate, and that's not what I'm getting here. And again, it's like the other ones, like the first 4 of them. Was it pretty much? I think the first 3 actually kind of missed the mark, and this one's missed it as well for inexplicable reasons, really. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I think for me, is it a 2.5 or 3? I think this was probably a 3 out of 5. It's not bad, this one. I think it's missed the mark, but not. Well, there's no salty caramel taste to it at all. And what can I say? I think that's, might have to be. You know what? I think the fact that it doesn't taste salty caramel at all, I'm going to have to dock it a half a mark to 2.5. It's got to have a salty caramel taste in there to be called a salty caramel cream or whatever. If you just call it caramel cream, I think the 3 out of 5. But I didn't get any salty caramel taste there, and I think salty caramel. You just got to have a salted taste, haven't you? You've got to have that salty taste. One of those. Yeah. Hi Andrew. Hi Andrew. Good to see you again. Yeah, Gooseberry Crumble sounds interesting. What benchmark would that be compared to? Have you ever tried a gooseberry? Well, good question now. I have, but whether I could really sort of tell you exactly what one tasted like is very difficult. Yeah, a difficult one. It's even like when tasting the raspberry one before. I don't know if you were here when I was doing I think the Christmas mess one. It's a difficult one because the chocolates don't tend. I mean, they have like a sort of red berry taste to it, but again, do the it's like, well, it could be raspberry, it could be strawberry, it could be cranberry, it could, you know what I mean? Very difficult one. So it's a good point that really, Andrew. Yeah, it's very difficult to kind of really pinpoint them down. And again, when I've had a gooseberry, it's been in like some kind of cake or tart or something. So I don't just eat one on its own, you know what I mean? So it's a good point really. Yeah, hard one to say that, yeah. I think the gist of it is what you're expecting here is quite a tart, berry taste essentially is the gist of it, and that's probably what you're going to get, probably. But a good point that, yeah, exactly. It's a really good point that. Yes. Usually when I have a box of chocolates, they're all the same inside. It can be a bit like that, and obviously it does depend on the chocolate. It does depend on the chocolate, but yeah, good to see you, by the way, Corey. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, it's. I think you're right. They are quite similar, and I think that's a sort of problem with this one. It's like what we've said a lot of over all these reviews, where a lot of them have just been like a praline type of centre. And they've generally just had like all the same on the inside, and it's same texture, and it's all praline. But they'll disguise it as something else. They'll say it's something else, but it's got a praline centre. They'll say it's like a salted caramel. It's a praline centre. It's a cheesecake, but it's got like a praline centre and stuff like that. And they all just have that, and they do generally taste quite similar. I mean, there are subtle differences, but the main thing of them is the same. So I do know what you're saying. Yeah, I love salted caramel. I think you'd be a bit disappointed with this one though, Corey, unfortunately, because it just didn't really have that salted taste to it. But I do like salted caramel as well. I think salted caramel Twixes, actually, as mundane as they sound, I think really nailed it. I quite enjoyed those, so I would recommend them if you've not had them. I really like those. They're very nice. Yeah. Okay, I'll just sort out this plate. I think what we might do now, I think we've got about halfway through. I think we'll do the old egg, see if we've won the £10,000. Oh, won some prize anyway. See if we've got the half white, half chocolate egg anyway. We'll give that an open, we'll see. Hopefully we have. Probably won't have done. So I'll give this an open then. So you should open on the front of it, so we'll have a bit of suspense. If anyone fancies doing a drum roll, feel free. Let's have a look, see if we've won. Let's have a look. So there we go, you can see the front there. There we go. So we've got a bit of suspense there. Hi there, Egg. How are you doing, Egg? Good to see you again. Yeah, how's Valorant going? Are you do you actually stream Valorant, Egg? I saw on Discord that you were it says you were recording it. I don't know if that means you're streaming it or not. Discord can be a bit, I don't know. I don't like the fact that it tells you what you're doing. I know you can change it on the settings, so apologies if that seems a bit nosy. But I did see you. It tells you who's online and who isn't on the PC version. It does on the mobile version as well, but the PC it's on 3 windows at once. Have to let me know if you're could be some Team Valorant expert there. I've still not tried it yet. I'd like to, but I haven't. Okay, let's see. So what do we think, everyone? Could we have won from that picture? Could we have won? I bet we haven't. All right, let's have a look. Let's tilt it to the side. Nope. Unsurprisingly, we've not won. Yet again. Okay. So there we are. There we go. Well, it's probably because I buy the cheaper boxes. Yeah, well, to be honest with you, Corey, I don't think so. It depends which ones you mean by that. But I mean, I find, for instance, Cadbury's Roses and Cadbury's Quality Street, Nestle Quality Street, they have a lot more variety than all these sort of milk tray, Lindt selection boxes, all this, that, and the other. I found that the Lindt ones particularly are a bit more mundane. Milk tray was all the same. You know, I find, well, yeah, but yeah, you know. It can depend, Rick. It can depend. But this is quite an expensive box, and I would say this one is quite different. But I would say, unfortunately, it doesn't quite achieve the taste it's trying to get to so far, at least. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I've not noticed too much advantage over the money you spend on them. To be honest with you, I think other than the fact that the ingredients are better, but the taste doesn't quite reflect it as much. It doesn't come out as that. It doesn't reflect the cost you've spent. I wouldn't have said. And to be honest with you, some of them. Yeah, I found some of the cheap ones to be some of the. Well, I mentioned it a few times. Even though I'm not a fan of alcohol, the alcohol selection from Mosa Roth, because it didn't taste have much alcohol in because it was cheap. Nonetheless, because it had lots of different alcoholic drink flavors, like all these random alcohol. You know, they have all these random flavors in alcohols and stuff. They're all actually very interesting, very unique, and very nice. I really like that selection. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. I record all your games, not my best clips. Oh, okay, I perhaps should be doing that as well. Yeah, and I was considering doing like a gaming channel basically, so I should do that. Would be quite good. Yes, funny. Yes, called Medal. Okay, yeah, funny moments to a program called Medal. Okay, right. Interesting. That is that like an equivalent of YouTube, or is it like you're just using that to stream your software? I use OBS for what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah, you know, someone's gifted a box of Good Run Belgian chocolates recently. Interesting flavours. Rose of violet and ruby chocolate. That sounds interesting, yeah. Yes. If you're ever in Discord again, Andrew, you have to post that there so I can try and remember it. That sounds an interesting one. Bizarre but interesting. Well, this is it. That's what they should be, really. But they all try and be quite safe, you know. I think there are probably, you know, there are some examples. Perhaps you could find some Hotel Chocolat one that's a bit different. But, yeah, generally, you know. Oh, thanks, Joe. Yes, don't forget to press the like button. Yeah, please. Yeah, please do. Really helps out the channel, that. Thank you. Yeah. You definitely watch a gaming channel, Rossi. Well, you know, maybe I should. I did start a bit of it, actually. Yeah, I might have to keep... yeah, I have to get back into it. I started slightly, but I've just not had the time to keep it going. So I wanted to get it going consistently. The problem is with gaming channels, I think you might have to stick to a certain type of game. Because obviously people appreciate, say it's like Animal Crossing or something. People probably, if they watch that, they don't want you to play Doom Eternal or something like that. You know what I mean? You know, so that is the one problem with it. I don't know what's the best bet to. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I have to think about that. I was doing a bit of Stardew Valley for a time. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Interesting one, but nice one. Well, if I do start it back up properly and things like this, But you know, would you only watch a certain type of game the week? That's the gist of it. You know, would you restrict yourself to only really watching Valorant and that kind of games, or would you watch over anything? I guess that's the question, isn't it? What do you think? Yeah, let me know. Right, yeah, okay. So what have we got then? We didn't win the cream egg challenge as always, but it's worth a try. You never know. Okay, so what have we got now? Carrot cake. All right, we've had reviewed this one before. I think this one was quite a good one, actually. I'm showing you the thing here. I don't need to show it, do I? Right, a national treasure. Not sure about that, but reinvented with real carrots and walnuts. It really works. Apparently, it really works. I mean, well, you could argue that about carrot cake. I mean, you know, who would think that would work? You can get parsnip cake as well, can't you? Which is quite interesting. All right, carrot cake. There we go. So yeah, carrot cake does exist. Those of you outside the UK, I don't know if you know about that, but Yeah, I guess carrots are quite sweet. You can get parsnip cakes as well. I think they're a bit less, but there we go. So you can see here it's got like candied carrot pieces on top, or presumably carrot pieces. That typical speckly sort of topper, encased in milk chocolate with the CH at the bottom. So it's quite an interesting one. This one. We'll give it a bit of a go. Let's have a see. Okay. There we go. Right. Yes, I did like that one, Andrew. That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. There you go, Corey. That's one for you. Try that one. The Tesco Milk White and Dark. Yeah, try that one, Corey. I think that's one you might enjoy. You've been eating Easter eggs already? Well, I know what you mean. I've done that before now. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I think I need to perhaps start reviewing. I've got a couple I don't review loads of Easter eggs because they're just a bit big and clunky. And often, as nice as they are, they're often nothing too... they're just like a sort of egg with a couple of Kit Kats or something. So it's not really different than reviewing a Kit Kat generally. But some eggs are a bit more special. So I will review some of them, I think. Yeah. All right, there we go. But yes, Corey, there you go. As Andrew mentioned, the Tesco Milk White and Dark selection. I remember enjoying it. It's been a while since I reviewed that one, but I did enjoy it. Yeah, milk tray is now very poor. Yes, all the truffles. Yeah. This is. Yeah, milk tray I wasn't too impressed with really. And I think it's got worse since then as well. It's all truffles at one generic caramel heart. You only get one per layer. All the others are toffee and truffle with the odd praline, yeah. Which is exactly, that's the problem with it, Andrew. Definitely the problem with those. Then definitely going to get some of those Camel Blonde Lion bars. Yes, check those out. Interesting ones, those ones. B&M is the place, Corey, for those, I believe. Might be able to get them somewhere else, but B&M is definitely where I got them from. Yeah, interesting ones, those. I like them. They're nice. They are nice. Bit different as well. Yes, we used to have carrot cake quite often. All right, so it's Brazil thing as well. Whole childhood. It's very usual. Yeah, yes, and delicious. Yeah, but you might have meant unusual there. I'll take it. But unless you mean it's quite common there. But yes, yeah, interesting one. Yeah, that's interesting. That, as I say, you seem to get it quite a lot in the UK, but it's not that common to actually have it. I don't think, which is strange. It actually made with a lot of carrots, I see. Probably more so than the carrots that have gone into this, I imagine, Joe, for sure. Yeah, honestly. Have you had parsnip cake? I've never had parsnip cake, but I've seen that for sale in some shops. To sound a bit maybe too extreme. 2.2 centimetres in height. Well, the width at the bottom is going to be difficult because it's not a perfect circle here, so I don't know how we're going to really measure this. But we'll do it from the most sticky out bit. And let's do about 2.6. And then the most sticky out bit to the least that I can tell. About 2.2 maybe. Yeah. Very usual, very common. Okay, you did mean that. Okay, yes, yeah. Very common, yeah. I would say it's not... I think it is quite common in the UK. But it's probably not... yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's common, but I think it's probably not that common... I think the base of the people who eat it are probably... I don't know really, I'm not sure. I feel like it's perhaps an older demographic that eat it, is the long story short there. But it's not to say it's not nice or anything, but I think most people just go for chocolate cake, basically, is the gist of it. But yeah, I've had carrot cake, and I remember it being quite nice. Well, here we go, look at this. Yes, I do this one. Yeah, I can tell you now this one, I'm quite sure I remember this one being pretty nice. And you can tell already that it's got something special about this one. Not to say the others haven't really, but yeah, I think this one will work pretty well. It's got the brittly pieces in the cream at the top. It's got a lovely sort of cream in the middle. It's got the candied piece at the top as well. It's got the different chocolate textures. I think this one's going to be a good one. There's a bit of a carroty smell, a bit of a sweet smell coming from it. Yeah, looks very nice, this one. It's got the look about it. This one, I hope, from memory perhaps, I think we're going to have a good one here. The only sauce scented milk tray when you reviewed it, so the strawberry cream and caramel heart, but now the strawberry cream is gone. Yeah, honeycomb truffle. Yeah, another truffle. Yeah, shame, isn't it, Andrew? That I don't know why they've done that. What's the point? Don't know. It's strange, isn't it? I can't understand it at all. Egg's a fan of the carrot cake. Yeah, I haven't had it for a long time. I do need to have it again. Actually, I do remember liking it though, but it's been a long time since I had it. You love a Lion bar, so we'll like them. Yeah, well, definitely be up your street then, Corey. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely up your street then. I've got a coconut lime bar coming up review as well soon. Hopefully get that done this week. Fingers crossed. So that's another one. Yeah, it's got what was the description of the top? It's called cocoa. Had like a weird, really strange description of the chocolate covering. It's called like something like, I can't remember what it was called now. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous name anyway. It's a crazy description. But yeah. Okay, right. Let's give this one a go. Looks very interesting, as I say. Very excited for this one. Yeah, I'll just up the brightness slightly, just so we get it back to normal. Let's have a look. Let's have a see. Well, yeah, interesting if they did a bit more. I don't know why they, well, I do know probably why they haven't done it, but interesting if they did do more like sort of strange stuff, more savoury, well, not savoury, but like carrot cake chocolates and things like this in regular chocolate bars and stuff like that. Don't tend to do it. It just tends to be cake, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, let's give this one a go. Let's give it a taste. Quite a cinnamony taste to it. Yeah, does it say? Oddly has a strong cinnamon taste to that, and I don't know why it's got that. It doesn't say there's cinnamon in it. Real carrots and walnuts. I'm not getting any walnut taste at all. Really. The candied carrot bits on the top are quite nice. A bit chewy, unusual, but I think they come across as like a bit of a kind of carrot taste. But yeah, unfortunately, that's predominated by, if that's a word, by cinnamon for some reason. And there's no cinnamon description there. And I think that's probably the little, there's no crunchy bits either, but that's probably the little dustings you can see, the little speckles in that. Possibly what those are. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like cinnamon there. It's more like vanilla though, to be honest with you. But I'm getting a cinnamon taste from that. And unfortunately, that's the dominating taste. And from a carrot cake, I wouldn't expect it to taste like cinnamon, really. I realise this is a winter selection or whatever, but it's a carrot cake, not cinnamon cake or cinnamon bun. And unfortunately, that's the taste I've got there. So I think for me, that's a bit disappointing. And that's all I'm kind of getting from it. Now, I don't know what I said when I reviewed this last in the other selection that we did, but definitely a disappointing one, that one there. Yeah, so just before I wrap it up, I'll just... Yes, Black Magic are quite good for a chocolate box and more resembles what they used to be like. Yes. I do remember quite liking Black Magic. I reviewed that quite some time ago, but I do remember that being quite nice as well. But of course, you probably have to be into dark chocolate for that one. But it's a nice one. You like carrot cake with the icing on top? Yes. I think this is it. It's nice actually, carrot cake. It is nice. Unusual. And so you do get a bit of strands of carrot in there, so that might be the bit that people aren't too keen on. But I quite like it as well, Corey, yeah. This chocolate, though, doesn't really taste of carrot cake at all. It's a bit of a disappointment, this one, unfortunately. It's basically just a bit of it's just cinnamon, really, unfortunately. It's got like perhaps the consistencies of carrot cake in there, but because of all this sense, you're thinking you're seeing this here, and you're going to get something really interesting, but not really. You don't really get anything that tasty. Just try a bit of that. Yeah, you just taste of cinnamon. That orange cream in the middle, it's just got a cinnamon taste to it. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what they've done to that. I don't know whether that's just a strange way the carrot flavours come out, but it tastes cinnamony to me. Yeah, I don't know how they've managed that. I think they've perhaps added too much. They've tried to give it a bit of a spicy flavour, and it's just come across wrong. I realise that might be in carrot cake, but when I've had carrot cake, it's definitely not been a predominant flavour. Yeah, so I think for me this is a bit. I wouldn't say this is particularly good, and I don't think it represents a carrot cake very well. So for me, it's a 2 out of 5. This one. There's not really much to it other than the sort of all the textures are kind of the same. There's nothing interesting there. Like some others, you've said, well, I can taste these different textures, but in this one, I'm just getting no real interesting textures at all, and just a cinnamon taste. Other than perhaps you might get a bit of the chewy candied sort of carrot bits at the top, but they don't really, it's kind of like it's too little. I wouldn't say too late, but I'm going to say too little, too late. I think, just because it's just to sort of finish that off. So it's not like a non sequitur. Yeah, it's just a bit sort of too little, too late, that one. It's not. It doesn't work with the rest of it to make it like a carrot cake. It's just you're just still tasting cinnamon. You know what I mean? It's just it's disappointing. Disappointing. Yeah. Yes, the Polish import Weiland bar described as the white glaze on the back of the wrapper, but only thing is described itself as icing. Yeah, well, there's the coconut one. The coconut one describes it as what was it? Chocolate. I can't think what it was now. Unfortunately, I don't have them to hand. Just have to watch the review. It described it as something ridiculous, like it had like it's like a really crazy sort of, I don't know what it was now. Unfortunately, I can't remember. Chocolates. I really can't remember. I have to go and find it if I can. It's sort of bugging me a bit that now. What was it called? I remember. Oh, really irritated. I might have to go and find it. I'll just go find it. It won't be a second. Let's just see if I can find it. I might have it just to one side. Won't be a moment. Okay, I found it. Yes, I found it. I thought I didn't find it first, but I have. It's on the actual. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. It's the coconut ones, which I've got to. I have reviewed. I just need to publish it. But you can see Cocoa Fantasy. That's what it's called there. You can see here, White Cocoa Fantasy. I mean, White Cocoa Fantasy. I mean, what's it? Absolutely ridiculous. That, I mean, it's just ridiculous. That's the import label they've stuck over the top. I don't know if it's a literal translation or whatever's here. That word there maybe. I don't know if they've just. I don't know, but it doesn't. White Cocoa Fantasy. There we go. So might be overselling it slightly there, but yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Now, I think it's icing. I might be wrong, but it's more of a white chocolate on top. It doesn't contain white chocolate. Basically, is the gist of it. It doesn't contain white chocolate. Yeah, that's why. So you might think it's white chocolate, and you would be right to think it's white chocolate, but it isn't. Yeah, it's one of those. There's both icing or chocolate. Yeah, basically, it looks like white chocolate, but it isn't. So it's one of those. It's like Caramax and things like this, Corey. Yeah, they look like it's like white chocolate mixed with caramel or something like that, but it's actually not chocolate at all. It's a weird one. Yeah. It's a weird one. So it's one of those. So like this one, for instance, yeah, it's not. So basically, yeah, it's not actually white chocolate in it. So if you look at the ingredients, you won't see white chocolate in the ingredients. I think with the caramel blonde one, I think that does have white chocolate in it, but this one doesn't. Yeah, it's an interesting one, but yeah, it's always worth. Well, it depends. I mean, what might be important is the taste, really. But you might think it's white chocolate sometimes, and it isn't, or just chocolate, and it's just not. But it's usually white chocolate that they don't have. Generally, it's just something else. Yeah, when you think it might be white chocolate. So yeah, worth checking out. It's weird, but it's like Andrew says. I think they do describe it as icing on the. I think on the blonde one, it does describe it as icing. I can't think off the top of my head. So I could be wrong on that one as well. Yeah, I might be. It might have white chocolate, it might not. I'm not sure, but interesting either way. Never seen this before. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a strange translation thing. I think. Yes, it's a very weird one. Yeah, I did think they would name an ingredient that way. Well, I think I think it might be a translation thing. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's very unusual. Yeah, I don't know what that's meant to be. Very interesting, but yeah. But they look very, they do look an interesting one. Yeah, correct. I've tried them. I can't recall what I gave them off the top of my head now. So, but hopefully I will put it up this week coming. So, give that a watch, and hopefully let me know what you think if you manage to find them as well. Yeah, hopefully you like them. I think just it is. I think if you think of a lion flavoured with coconut, I think you probably will be more or less on the right track. Okay, yeah, so which one are we up to now? Which one have we got? Right, so on this interesting looking one here, what's this one? Gooseberry Crumble, yeah, the one Andrew mentioned before. Now, looks in hand certainly not quite as colourful as the one there. So you can see that it's got like a pink centre there. Forage flavours again of gooseberry, refined by praline and white. Okay, so we've got the praline again. The fruits of a blustery countryside stomp. Okay, interesting. Quite flavourful description there, I think you'd say. Whether it's a flavourful chocolate, we'll find out. But yeah, interesting. We would definitely say here it's definitely not got the pink middle there. I think a gooseberry, yeah, they do. You know, yeah, I wouldn't say they're the most colourful of fruits off the top of my head. I think this actual look of it does look a bit more gooseberry-like than than that one there, which is very pink. Yeah, there we go. So, all right, interesting. See the speckles there. I feel like we might be in for a very similar one than the. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Yes, talk about an unfortunate translation. I know. I think that's possibly what it is. I mean, unless it does say fantasy on the other ones, I didn't actually translate it. You know, maybe it does. You know, I mean, one of the words was did begin with an F. You know, obviously it was in German or whatever, but or whatever it is. Fettglauser. I'm not sure what that actually. With white Fettglauser, it might just be glazed. That I don't know, but yeah. But yeah, they could. I mean, I have seen where these have had errors in them, these translation labels. I have seen it before where they've had like an extra 0 on top of the calories and stuff. I mean, about the carrot cake. Ah, see, okay, yes. Sorry, Corey, right, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, sorry about that. But yes, yeah. No, yeah, let me know what you think of those if you do try them out. Sounds like you might be a fan of them. But you might, obviously, if you don't like coconut, you know. Yeah, give them a try either way and let me know what you think. I think again, B&M probably a place for those. It seems to be quite good. All right, let's move down a bit. Give this one a measure. Okay. Trying to do a bit carefully so I don't get a big shock. Okay, there we are. All right. Yes, I think you're probably right there. Yes, I think you're probably right there, Joe. Yeah, you can usually tell as well because of the context what the translations are. But yeah, this is it. Because obviously in this case it'll have like a grammatical amount or whatever. Well, not grammatical, a gram sort of rating or whatever. Okay, yeah, let's just get the brightness down a bit. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we are. Lovely. There we go. Right, okay. So this one not quite as colourful as you'd think. Well, we've probably measured it before because it's going to be the same one as the other one, but we'll be complete and do it. And it's got the meringue pieces on top, which is interesting. 2.2. And the width at the bottom. 2.4, 2.5. Well, it's difficult to, yeah, it's just so many knobbly at the bottom. 2.5 in this case there again. So we're doing it from different sort of areas. 2.4. So between 2.4 and 2.5, I think you'd say. Although at the smallest parts, comes down to about 2.24. So there we go. Yeah, and the height. Did we do the height? I think we did. Obviously, it does have the meringue pieces on, which they've got from the other ones. About 2.2 again. Yeah, about 2.69 if you count the meringue pieces. It seems a bit. Doesn't seem quite right, that 2.2. Seems to be the same with the width, but the width didn't seem that far. 2.6. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Looks like it looks like it's taller than it is wide at the bottom, which I don't quite get. That doesn't seem quite right that at all. But anyway, okay. Yeah, just doesn't seem right that at all. 2.2. Yeah, 2.3. Interesting that. It really looks like it's taller than it is wide at the bottom, but oh well, okay. The width at the top again, difficult one to do. About 3 centimeters there. Down the other place, which place narrowest, about 2.8. Okay. Yes, the chocolates look different, so extra points, yes. It's always good when you have a bit of a different variety to them. They do tend to use the repeating types. So you can see like here, for instance, this one here. It's the same as this one, basically. They've used the same mould. So there's a couple of instances where they are They do follow the same, you know, but yeah, they at least have an interesting shape generally, and they all look the same. So I know what you mean, but they do repeat a bit of the molds. Yes, it's one of those. All right, let's give this a chop then. Chop it down the middle. Okay, so this does remind me very much of that sort of, I think the cheesecake one basically it did sort of come across that way. They've used the same kind of template. It just looks a bit darker really. I imagine it's going to be quite similar, but in this, yeah, there we go. You can see what it's like there. Have that sort of topper. Does it remind me of the cheesecake one? Let's see which one it was. I don't know if it was the cheesecake one actually. I think it was more the yeah, I think it was the cheesecake actually. It reminds me slightly of this one. It got that sort of biscuity topper, and maybe that one a bit, or potentially this one maybe even more treacle tart with that sort of topper. Yeah, but also you could argue maybe slightly mixed in with the speculoosy one as well. That sort of biscuity type topper. But yeah, there we go. All right, well, let's see. We'll see. See if it tastes nice. See how fruity it is. I'm expecting like a sort of bitter fruit taste to this one. Not too sure. Yeah, don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be okay. All right, let's zoom up a bit. There we go. Right. Colour. Let's give it a go then. Let's give this one a taste. It smells. Again, it smells a bit, I don't know, cinnamony maybe, but let's give it a go. That sort of tarty, fruity taste like we'd expected. Quite tarty actually. Not bad this one. I would say the top to it is a bit more distinct. In the other ones, you've not really been able to taste the difference, particularly in the topper. That sort of odd biscuity type top they've got, which is still like a bit of a cream, but they've attempted some kind of cakey top to it. It's not bad this one actually. This one definitely, I think, works a bit better. As I say, the flavours in this one work nicer than the other ones. Like say than the cheesecake one, for instance. We had the like the blackcurrant cheesecake where they just didn't work together very well. The different flavours, they just didn't work. The Christmas mess didn't work either. And the carrot cake one didn't really either. But this Gooseberry Crumble one actually does. I can taste the differences between the different textures. I could taste a bit more of the sort of what's meant to be the pastry. It tastes a bit biscuity really, layer, but I could taste it. I could taste a bit of crunches in it, and I could get the fruity part to it as well. It kind of all worked together. This one actually worked together. The rest of them didn't work because they just conflicted. Whereas this one, like some of the chocolates I've mentioned before in other sections of things, they all sort of like the whole was greater than some of its parts. Basically, actually properly worked together. I got something that could be considered like you could argue it's any kind of fruit really. It does, it's hard to distinguish whether this really tastes of gooseberry. If you ever have gooseberry, it kind of comes across as like a sort of just a tarty fruit basically. But it does come across as that. It comes across as you'd expect it to. It's actually quite nice, and I actually quite like that. As I say, I can distinctly taste the sort of the bit that's meant to be like the pastry part. It doesn't taste the pastry, but I can taste it. It's there. There's no real strong other taste in it as well to make you think it's something else like the carrot cake has cinnamon. It's got that sort of crunchy bit on top. I don't know if it's right to have this meringue top a bit. Just come across as biscuit really, to be fair. So I don't think they're actually meringue. As opposed to they're not actually the same as the other one. So you can tell there's a bit of a difference there. If focuses in slightly. Yeah, so they are different. It is more of a biscuit topper. I think this one's actually pretty good. It's actually one of the better ones again in the selection actually. Yeah, I think this one actually works pretty well. I actually quite like this one. Yeah, I think this actually works pretty well. I think it's so different as well. I think for me, is it a 4, 4.5? I feel like a 4 might be too low. I think because it's so unusual, and I think it's quite nice. It might, I don't know, it's somewhere between a 4 and a 4.5. I think I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because I think it's quite distinct and it's quite interesting and it works quite well. I'm going to say a 4.5 out of 5, that one. I think as a chocolate in one of these sections, it's quite nice. It's probably more a 4 than a 5, to be fair, whereas I think the cocoa whatever the one was called. The mousse au chocolat was probably more of on towards the 5 end of it. Nonetheless, I think it's just got a lot of different textures in this one and taste, and they complement each other, which is what you want from these selections. They rarely do that in these selections, and this one actually does. I think that was actually a good one, that one. But again, you've got to like fruit and this and that. Well, you've got to like a sort of tarty taste. It doesn't really taste of, there's not fruit bits or anything. Yeah, I like that one. That was a nice one. That was very nice. That interesting. Yeah. Yes, not sure if there's any Heron food place near you, but they've got some good chocolates in and new stuff similar to B&M. Yeah, I think we're talking about this actually. I think in midweek on Stash Watch, Corey. Yeah, I think Scotty was saying, possibly Andrew as well. But Heron, it seems to be, is basically, I think B&M own Heron is the gist of it. So you probably, from that, I'm gathering you'll probably see very similar type things in there. So yeah, but I haven't seen any. I think near me they're all B&Ms basically. Yeah, I think there is a Heron somewhere, but it kind of. Like I think Scotty or Andrew was saying again, they seem to be in like residential areas, so like it might be a sort of like a block of flats or something, or like a little housing estate or whatever, just taken over to be part of a supermarket or something. So yeah, I just never see them basically. So I'd like to go there, but yeah, I would like to try it. Yeah, I would like to see, because it might be slightly different, like you say, because they just have a different. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what. Have a different demographic or different sort of set of products, whatever. But but yeah, it is somewhere I'd like to see. And as you say, they might be slightly different than B&M. But unfortunately, I've just never managed to get to one. I think they're all not quite convenient enough for me to get to. But yeah, but let me know what you spot. I said there is a Discord chat, by the way, Corey, Discord server. If you ever fancy coming into that, feel free. It'd be great to see you there. And then if you post anything there, then I can keep an eye out for it as well. It's an easy way for me to keep on top of things. No obligation. You don't have to commit to anything. You could just pop in once a week or something, but if you're there, it'd be a great way to let me know if you spot anything different. Just grab a photo and post it in there. It'd be great. It'd be great. But it's somewhere I'd like to go in. If I ever see one, I definitely will go in, because I've heard nothing but good things. So it is on my list. Right, so what else have we got then? We've got let's see, so we've got 5 more to do. Quite a long review session, this one. Peanut butter cookie this time. Let's have a look. So this one, it looks very similar to the second one we did, the caramelized biscuit one. So here we go. So this must be it. Now it looks a bit, doesn't look that peanut butty. I mean, you would have said it's more like the caramelized biscuit, but doesn't really smell that sort of peanut butter either. But there we go. That's what it is basically. You can see here, sort of typical Hotel Chocolat bottom. Okay, nice top of them, little cocoa biscuits. What's the actual description on it? Don't think we read that, did we? I think we might have glossed over that. Notes of fragrant, just baked peanut butter cookie in 50% milk, pinch of cinnamon, and Currant sea salt. Well, we'll see if that sea salt's available, tasteable. Cinnamon again, which I think is a winter selection, but I think that cinnamon has been overpowering in when it has been in the selections. But we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It's an interesting one actually. We do have repeats in here. I've just noticed there is 2. These ones repeat, so there's 2. There is one of them that has 2 representations in here, which I didn't think there was. 9, 13. There's only 13 chocolates, but 13 different types of chocolate, but 14 chocolates. So one of them, which is the next one we'll review, it appears twice, which is strange. Yeah, you would have thought they could have just done 15 different types. Okay, there we go. Right, let's have a see. Okay, let's give this a bit of a quick measure then. So let's have a look. Measure at the top. Okay, 3.3. I think it's usually a good square on these. So yeah, about 3.3 again. 3.33 is pretty consistent there, isn't it? By Hotel Chocolat there. So they've got the sizes pretty good. It's perfect. Square, whatever you'd say. 3.15 on the bottom. Presume it would be the same on this one. About the same. It's probably me that's the difference there. And the height, but might not be, but it's a bit difficult to accurately measure the bottom of these. 1.35. Okay, looks very nice. Yeah, as I said, that's not counting the little biscuity pieces on top. Yeah. Ah, you're right, they own them. I'm in Yorkshire, Sheffield, yes, up north, and they only have Heron food up north, yeah. I'm in Manchester, basically, yes, so, yeah, I believe that's the case. I've just not seen them where I am. I just, for whatever reason, just where I am, there just isn't any just near enough to me. I don't think anyway. There might be somewhere, but when I tried to look for them, they were just a bit out of the way or just not quite convenient or whatever. Maybe, or I just couldn't see them. You know, I didn't know if they were still there or not. So maybe I need to. Yeah, would like to check though. But yes. I'm not. So it should be around. I know. Say a couple of people have been in Manchester have said they are around here. So I need to perhaps maybe just look a bit harder. Maybe. Oh, yeah, I've already measured this 1.39. Okay, let's chop it down the middle then. Let's give it a chop. What's the easiest way to chop it? Let's do it down here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so you can see this one's a bit more straightforward. It's just very much two sort of layer affair pretty much with a chocolate surround. Looks alright. What's the actual description? There's a fragrant just baked peanut butter, cooked in 50% milk, pinch of cinnamon and Goan sea salt. So we don't really know what the difference in these layers are, it doesn't tell you. Doesn't smell massively of peanut butter or peanuts. I wouldn't have said from smelling it that it's, yeah, so interesting. Let's find out if it tastes like it. Fingers crossed it does. But you can clearly see that it's not actually peanut butter in there. It's not like it doesn't noticeably look like peanut butter at all, you know. And which is really what you'd think it would do. Why has it not just got peanut butter in it? I mean, I think that's what people want. But again, you know, pretension and things like this affect things like this. Yeah, affect these kind of chocolates. So, all right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a taste. Well, there's a slight peanutty taste to it. Peanut notes, I think you would say. And there's a cinnamon in there as well. Again, this cinnamon just... I know it's a winter selection, but it just doesn't... I mean, I'm wanting to taste peanut butter. I'm not wanting to taste cinnamon. You know, and unfortunately, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting peanut butter notes. I'm not getting a peanut butter consistency or... you know, it doesn't come across as peanut butter. It's like something that has no flavour that's been flavoured as peanut butter. If that makes any sense. I'm not getting a difference in the contrast at the top. I get a bit of crunch from the top, from the little biscuit bits at the top, but I don't know why that's there really. Why not just have bits of peanut in there? So I don't know. It's another one. This one it doesn't really taste of peanut butter. It has a slight peanutty taste, but again, it's like a peanut flavour rather than peanut butter. It doesn't have like peanut butter consistency. It doesn't have bits of peanut in it. It has cinnamon flavour, which detracts from the peanut flavour. I think, you know, what's it called? I'm sure it's not called cinnamon peanut butter. Peanut butter cookie. You've got that bits at the top which come across as a bit of biscuity taste, but there's not much of it. I'd like a layer of biscuit, like they've got that layer of something at the top. You know, put that at the bottom and have it as a sort of layer of biscuit, and then have this. This is actual peanut butter here. This isn't peanut butter. I don't know. You know, it's not really peanut butter. No, I would refer to it as peanut butter. It's some kind of cream. Well, not even that, like a fondant, you know, thick fondant. Yeah, so it's a bit of a miss, this one. Cinnamon detracts from the taste. Don't know why it's there, other than the fact it's a winter selection. But then, if it's a peanut butter cookie, you don't need to add cinnamon to it. You know, you make something that's a winter sort of themed object. Not like, you know, if peanut butter cookies aren't winter themed, don't just throw in cinnamon and say, well, that's winter. You know, it's not stupid. And you could argue that Eton Mess they've done that, and you know, yeah, probably should have done that really. But at least they've been upfront about it. In this case, they haven't. Yeah, so you know, it's a complete miss. This one, I think this one's either 1.5 or 2 really. I think this one's a 1.5 out of 5. It's just the others have missed to an extent, but still been relatively nice. This one is just nothing to this one. It's a complete disappointment. Doesn't really taste of anything. It's just you know, if you imagine someone who just really doesn't know what they're doing has invented a chocolate. It's kind of what this is, and tried, you know, it's just missed the mark on all counts. It's a real disappointing one, that one. It's not unpleasant or anything. So by 1.5, I don't mean it tastes horrible. I think usually if it's a 1, that's when for me it won't taste nice. It still tastes okay, but it's just nothing. There's nothing to that one at all. Yeah. Yeah, Manchester's not far. Yes, not too far. Yeah, about an hour on a train, I think. Yeah, so yeah, it's basically where I am. Yeah, so Yeah, interesting on that one. I think most people in this chat tend to be from around Scotland way or Newcastle, I think. Yeah, it's an interesting one, that one. So yes. But yeah. Yeah, good to meet you, Corey, by the way. Great to see you on the channel. Have you been following long, or is this your first... yeah, not seen you in the chat before, so great to see you, by the way. Thought it'd be like a Reese's Cup. Yes, exactly. I mean, you know, although some people could argue, well, Reese's Cup, I mean, it's not refined enough, you know, for this selection. But exactly, you'd expect a take on that, wouldn't you? You know. Exactly, yeah, exactly, Joe. That's what you'd expect. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you there, Joe. I agree with you. I mean, you could even be a take on it. It wouldn't have to necessarily be exactly the same, but at least something along those lines. Yeah. But I guess they tried to make it too fancy and they just ruin it, you know. But it's alright for you because Heron Foods is only around the corner. Yeah, I don't know. There might be one quite close, but when I've looked, it's either not been there, you know, or not seemed to be there, as if it's closed or something, or it says it's Heron Foods, but it's actually a B&M. So I don't know whether I've just misunderstood something, but I will keep an eye out. Yeah, 20% peanut butter. Yeah, it could be, Joe. Could be something along those lines. Definitely a smell to it of peanut butter, but also a cinnamon smell. You know, it's I don't know. Complete missed that one, really. Yeah, shame. Yeah, I think you'd be very disappointed by that one, Joe. I know you're a peanut butter fan. You would definitely be disappointed by that. Yeah. Shame about that one, really. Okay, so we've got the cinnamon roll this time. Now, so I think cinnamon bun. So this one we do have two of them in. It's the only one where we've got two. You see here, there's two of them left. So we have what was it? 3, 6, 9, 12. No, sorry, 3, 6, 9, 12. 14 chocolates, but only 13 different kinds. Why they've done two of these? Why not just do two different types? I don't know really. So there's only one with two of them. It seems a bit stupid. That if you're gonna do, you know, just do them all different. You know, it's just a bit silly. All right, what's the description of this one then? Rush of cinnamon. Well, like I think it would be cinnamoned out, to be honest with you, by this point. They've added cinnamon to everything else. Rush of cinnamon notes, a fresh baked bread, syrupy finish, better than the original. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But up to this point, bear in mind that we've had cinnamon every other of the chocolates pretty much. I think we didn't need a cinnamon roll one, and we certainly didn't need two of them. But there we go, we'll see. All right. So cinnamon roll, so I'm expecting some kind of cakey type affair in this. I don't think we're going to get that, but we'll see. It might be that typical where they've tried to simulate pastry again, but I don't know. Let's move down and have a look. I'm sceptical about this one. You might already tell. Yes. Yeah, I mean, peanut butter's not expensive. Yeah, no, well, this is it, Jared. This is it. I don't know why they've not. I mean, I know that the thing is, they might be trying to be quite pretentious here, Jared. That's all I can think of. And they see peanut butter as being below them. So they've tried to make it something else. But I mean, I think if it's called peanut butter cookie, you know, just put peanut butter in it. You know what I mean? Just a proper, you know, just what you'd actually expect it to be. Yeah, don't know. I mean, do something quirky with it by all means, but you know, at least have what's meant to be in there, innit? Yeah, it's strange, really strange. All right, let's. Well, we've been through this before. We've measured this template before, but 2.3 basically in height. And width at the bottom, difficult to measure as we've said, but 2.6. Depending where you do it, 2.36. Yeah, about 2.67. At the top, it's more where the height was 2.3. The height, too tall this one. But I think the topper comes out slightly raised above the rim of it this time. Okay, about 3 centimeters there, 3.1 if you round up. And on the other side, 3.05. 2.8. Okay, let's give it a bit of a chop. Looks alright, this one. I guess it's got the cinnamon roll swirl on it. You could, you know, fair enough. CH at the bottom. Let's give it a bit of a chop. Okay, interesting. Looks better than you'd expect. It's got like a caramel, and you can see the caramels come away at the bottom there. Looks like it's actually got more than they probably could have put in there. They've done a reasonable job here. So you can see it's got like a very thick chocolate top, or at least what looks to be a chocolate top. It's probably some kind of flipped over a bit. It's probably some kind of truffly type affair or fondant or whatever. But you see it's got that sort of biscuit pastry simulation that they tried to do in the other ones. But definitely a runny caramel there. That's interesting, and it seems to have a sort of fondant centre as well in it. So you got the caramel surround. You can see in this one, the caramel is surrounding like. Oh no, it's just a bit of the chocolate that's gone up. Okay, no, it's nothing. No, it's just caramel. All right. That's interesting. And I feel like they've done more than they could have, they needed to in this one, based on the description. Yeah, cinnamon notes, fresh baked bread, syrupy finish, better than so it's meant to be like a syrup. Where's that burnt caramel taste? We'll find out. But yeah, all right. But it's got that sort of pastry effect in it that they've used in the other ones. You know, so yeah, which doesn't really taste of pastry, but it's what they've tried to use as a pastry substitute. Okay, let's give it a taste then. I think this one might be better than it I thought it was going to be, based on what it looks like and based on what I've already tasted. So I can, you know, I know the flavours now really, so because using the same ones over and over again, but in different combinations. Okay, well let's give it a go. Let's give it a taste. Not bad. It's got cinnamony notes to it. I guess it's got that bready finish. It's not really, you know, that obvious. It's okay, this one. Like unlike the other one where I said it was the gooseberry truffle or whatever it was. Where the sum of its parts, you know, it's better than the sum of its parts. This one isn't really gooseberry crumble. It isn't basically. It's just okay. It's the things don't really come together to sort of strike you as something interesting. It just sort of, you've got like a bit of caramel in there, a bit of cinnamon, and some softness. Doesn't really come across, unlike the gooseberry one where it actually did taste a bit sort of, I mean, that didn't taste like cake really, or you know, pastry or whatever, but it tasted like something, and you could taste it and you could appreciate it. In this one, it doesn't come across that way again. It's back to like the others where it just doesn't work together very well, you know, for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. Could be the cinnamon taste is too much of it. Again, I think there was there cinnamon? I don't remember. Can't recall whether I said there was cinnamon in the gooseberry one. If there was, it didn't overpower it or anything. In this case, it has done to an extent, or you know, yeah. I guess it's a cinnamon bun though, so it's fair enough. But it does mean that the rest of it doesn't quite really work to any extent because you can't really taste it. You know, whereas if you had a cinnamon bun, an actual cinnamon bun, you know, you'd be chewing on the cake, you'd be biting it, it had like an icing on the top. You know, it would distinctly have different tastes and flavours and textures. This one doesn't really have any of that. I mean, it has like some textures and things, but they're all a bit of nothing. You don't have any distinctness to them. And it's just another disappointing one, unfortunately. But it looked like it was going to be quite good. It had lots of interesting, you know, when you chopped it in half, it had like the caramel, it had the, you know, the different layers and things, and then the chocolate and stuff, but it's just not really, I didn't have that much actually, did it, when you think about it actually. Yeah, it's just, you know, yeah, it's, I don't know, yeah, we're getting towards last chocolate syndrome now, where we've tasted a few of them and they're kind of all melt, you know, yeah, you know, so I have to be wary of that, so try to be careful. But I think it's probably a 1.5 to a 2. I think it doesn't really work for me. I think it's a 1.5 because it doesn't come across as a cinnamon roll at all. There's nothing there. That sort of cakey substitute they use doesn't work in this one. So you're left with, in the caramel you can't really taste it either. I think they could have just interpreted it a bit better really. So again, it's just another one that kind of doesn't, it's just a bit of nothing basically. It's another one of those that's just a bit of nothing. You eat it and it's not unpleasant, it's nice, but it's not really anything. You know, it's just, it's, you know, it doesn't really come across as anything. Now, of course, I'm not saying it tastes like paper or cardboard. I think we can all safely assume that most chocolates won't taste like that, in which case it would be like a 1 out of 5. But when you consider most chocolates have a good taste to them, and they're generally 3 out of 5, you know, this one just doesn't really come across as much. You know, it's just, yeah, a bit disappointing. Yeah, a bit disappointing. Yes. Let's eat peanut butter straight out of the jar, okay, Corey. I see, crikey. I think, honestly, I think Jow might be with you there as well. I think Jow's a massive peanut butter fan. He might be able to join in one of those sessions, I think. Honestly, I haven't really ever had peanut butter, believe it or not. I've had it in chocolates, but I don't really eat it just normally. You know, it's a strange one, really. I've had it a bit, but it can depend on what peanut butter you get. Some of them are quite sort of sweet, have lots of sugar added to them, and some of them don't. You know, and I think I'm probably one that prefer to have the sugar ones really. you know, I think jar's the healthy type. I don't know which ones you prefer, Corey, but yeah. Okay, let's have a see. Let's have a look. Where are we up to? Yeah, so right, we've got right, the burnt caramel pralines. Okay, so this is literally burnt caramel. So if I do find burnt caramel in this one, it tastes like it. I'll then be asking why it wasn't in the treacle tart one, which should have a burnt caramel taste. So intensely treacly. Well, there we go. It's even called treacle. Treacly hazelnut praline. So it's got hazelnut praline for inexplicable reasons. In a mellow milk pastry case. So we've got that probably faux pastry going on again. So again, looks like it's quite red on the top there, I think you'd say, but in hand, it's not red at all, that one. That's the only one it could be. There's no others in the thing. It's got a sort of pastry case, well, cake case sort of affair, fairy cake case affair. You've been controlling your addiction to it lately. I mean, 25 to 30 grams daily, I see. I'm telling you, how much is that? It's probably like a chocolate bar's worth, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, as in weight-wise. Honestly, dear me. How much would you normally have, Joe? Maybe having loads of it. Let's give this one a measure then. We'll, yeah, I guess it can be quite good for you if you don't have the sugary type. You know, if you have just pure peanut butter. I guess it's just peanuts, isn't it? You know. All right, let's give it a go then. Give it 2.1 in height. Yes, and then at the bottom of the frills, in between the frills at the bottom, about 2.6. With the frills, about 2.7. Maybe more yeah. It can depend really, but yeah. Maybe more like 2.8 maybe, but it depends how you measure it. At the top 3.37, and then between the frills 2.34. Yeah, about a millimetre difference, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, 2 tablespoons it is, yes, I see. And you're the same, yes, few spoons full a day, okay. At least got it under control, maybe, yeah. Is yours like... Yours is massive ladles that you put in, like one's this big though, Corey, is that the difference? Oh dear. Well, there's worse things to be addicted to, I think it's fair to say, so, you know. Alright, let's have a look at this one then. Let's have a see. So, okay, got that thick topper. It looks very similar to the other one actually we just did. Got that sort of thick topper again, like a caramel underneath. So, it does have a treacly smell to it, this one, so we might be able to get a bit of a, might have a more of a burnt taste to it. Let's have a see. Alright. Let's lift myself up, give this one a go. I don't think there's much. We've kind of seen the centre of these a few times now, so we, you know, if there's too much labouring the points on that one, but we'll see what it tastes like. Oh, I didn't change the thing. Yeah, full of protein as well. Yeah, I think it's probably a healthier thing to have, isn't it? Let's face it. You know, I probably should be having more of it or something like that, more nutty type things. I quite like nuts as well, but they are quite deceptively high in calories as well, aren't they? So I think for me, I'd probably eat too many of them. But maybe it's something I should try. But I guess it's good calories, I guess. But obviously, you still have to be careful. Right, let's give this one a go. Yeah, let's give it a taste. Yeah, so this does have a burnt caramel taste in it. Distinctly has that treacly caramel taste. So why this wasn't in the treacle tart, I don't know. Not bad, this one. Burnt caramel praline. Okay, it is pretty much what it says on the tin. It is a praline. It's got that sort of centre where it's kind of, you know, it's just that typical centre really. You know, it's just got that sort of that sort of praline-y taste, but with a sort of relatively strong treacle taste as well. Not too strong, doesn't overpower it too much. So it's kind of an interesting one. This one, I would say, this one is by design a bit of nothing. Unfortunately, it's just a typical praline that you get in most chocolate selections. However, they've at least managed to get it tasting like treacle, which isn't difficult because they do use this kind of burnt caramel for most of the caramels. But for some reason, inexplicably, I had a treacle tart chocolate earlier on which didn't have this in. It just had a normal caramel, which I can't understand. So yeah, so for me, this one, it's unfortunately, it's not very exciting, but it does what it sets out to do. You know, but I think it's still a below average chocolate really. But I think the fact it's meant to do it and it kind of works. It's got a slight sort of, what did it say? In a mellow milk pastry case. So it's got like, it does have that kind of faux pastry going on to an extent, not quite to the extent it has it in other ones. It's okay. It's got like a bit of a softness to it, basically another texture, but it doesn't really taste like pastry. You know, it's all right. It's a 2.5 out of 5. That one. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. There's not much to say about that one. It's just a typical praline with a bit of caramel in it, and it comes across as it's meant to, but it's just not that exciting. Yeah. Yes. Candace says, yes, you two both peanut butter addicts, are you? I see. Dear me, honestly. Well, as you said, it's good. It's good protein in it, and it's not. If you have the right type, it's not that unhealthy either. But even if you don't have the right type, I guess it's healthier than other things. Use one ingredient, no sugar base. You just basically just crush the peanuts, do you basically, Joe, and then it eventually just forms the peanut butter. Yeah, so you're still up at weight on, so you like to eat, it's full of fat. So yeah, so well, you know, if you can get away with it, why not? Unfortunately, I can't get away with eating stuff like I used to. Yeah, 120 grams in one sitting. Well, when you think about it, that equivalent of chocolate bars, it's probably about 3 chocolate bars or whatever. But I'd say it's probably quite a lot of. I imagine peanut butter is probably quite more. What's the word? Concentrated in its ingredients. So you know. But even so, yeah, there's probably worse things you could have done. I'm sure people have had a lot more chocolate and ice cream and things like this that's weighed about the same. So including myself. Yeah, just toasted peanuts. So it's not bad when you think of it that way. So I think you can be relatively easy on yourself with it. I think there's worse things to be done. Yes, that I've done for sure. Eating 2 tubs of Ben & Jerry's ice cream in one sitting, or 2 Domino's pizzas, you know, which are 3,000 calories each, you know, if not more. I dread to think. Yeah, so you know. Oh dear. Right, so what have we got next? We've got the chocolate orange chocolate pot zesty pudding. Is served. Orange, well, let me just I'll read it down here. So look. Zesty pudding is served. Orange cuts through notes of dulce de leche and cocoa-rich ganache. Okay, so what's dulce de leche? I know it's Spanish, Joe, but you might be able to. So is that like a sweet cream? Is it basically, or sweet milk? Yeah, sweet of the milk, is it? Something like that. Yeah, so I guess it's, I don't know, I'm not sure really what that really means it is, but yeah, something along those lines. Okay, so we've got this orange dot in the middle. Looks, you know, fair enough. Okay. We've had the chocolate brownie. I think we've had this one before in another one, but we'll move down a bit. Okay. Yeah, see, yes. Yes, and you've had a jar in a day easily, like the crunchy one, not the smooth one. Yeah, see, wow. But you're a sugar chocolate addict as well. Well, this is where you may come undone, Corey. But it sounds like you keep on top of things, you know, as long as you can, yeah, not eat too much or whatever. But yeah, it's, I don't know, it's a difficult one. It can be difficult, but if you're not putting on weight, you're very lucky, you know, as I say. Unfortunately, I can't do that anymore. I used to be able to eat all sorts and not put weight on, but these days, unfortunately, I do. Yeah, so I managed to finish my diet. I've just been dieting lately, and I needed to lose probably about a stone, 15 pounds, 14 pounds, if not maybe more. But I've managed to lose it now, so I've lost it now. So I'm at a good place now. As of this morning, I was about 153 pounds, so not too bad. Was, you know, yeah. So I wanted to be about 154, so I've done okay. Like about 3.06, about 3.1 centimeters, pretty much. Yeah, and at the bottom, it's hexagon shape, roughly at the bottom anyway. About 2.64, and the height at 1.9. Okay, right, let's give this a chop. So this is what we should be expecting a chocolate one. Zesty pudding is served. Orange cuts through notes of dulce de leche and a cocoa-rich ganache. Okay, chop it down the orange bit. So the orange bit has a bit of substance to it. This looks like possibly a good one. You can see here, I mean, look at this. You can tell already this looks to be reasonably well designed. I mean, hopefully it'll come across in the taste. But you can see there's like an orange bottom there, presumably orange sort of caramel maybe, and that sort of ganache there, which could be the dulce de leche, you should say. You can see a bit of orange, possibly orange white chocolate there or whatever. Yeah, I think it's milk chocolates around. This one looks definitely an interesting one. Cocoa rich ganache. I think we can say this one should be a good one. Yeah, definitely looking forward to this. Yeah. And no cinnamon, hopefully. They've not invaded it with cinnamon. Fingers crossed. Okay. Or corrupted it, however you want to say it. I just felt, well, we need to throw cinnamon in it, you know. And oranges, I guess, are sort of like a wintry fruit by way of, you get them at Christmas and things in stockings by tradition. So I guess there might be that. But alright, let's give it a go. Give it a taste. Definitely got a nice zingy orange taste to it. Mixes with that ganache as well. Not bad. I think it could have done maybe without the ganache or having orange flavoured ganache. I'm not sure. It kind of feels a bit like it's the two things don't work perfectly together, but they nonetheless are still nice. It's not bad. It's like sort of two things together, like an orange, as I say, an orange flavoured something with the ganache, and they mix it together, and they don't quite work. They don't quite come out as good as it would have been either if it was all ganache, like the Mousse au Chocolat was before, or just all orange. You know, so they don't come across. They don't work quite as well as if they were separate, but it's still very nice. It's still got that sort of rich taste, and that mixes with the orange, so it's actually quite nice. And the chocolate's not bad either. This one's pretty good. It's not as good as some of the others, but it's definitely better than most of the others. Yeah, I think for me that's a 4 out of 5. That one. It's nice. It does what you'd expect it to an extent, but unfortunately the ganache and the orange mixture don't. You know, the orange, I don't know, whatever you'd say it was that you can see here. The orange cream, they don't mix together very well. They don't come out with a taste that sort of really gives you the best of what both would offer individually, basically. But they're still nice individually, so that's why it still works. Yeah, so 4 out of 5 for that one. I like it. Not bad. Sorry, raising my voice a bit loud there. Don't know what happened there, but there we go. Yeah, 4 out of 5. There we go. That's better. Yeah, it catches up with you. Yes. Well, this is it. You have to be careful. But I mean, as I say, you know, it's relatively healthy peanut butter. I know there's the other stuff, but there we go. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So not too bad. Dulce with sweet milk, I guess. Yes, or milk sweet. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't quite. So obviously, it's like you say, it's more like a name for something, isn't it? But yeah. Interesting. Yeah, is it like sort of like a way of, I don't know, some way of getting something from milk or something like that? I'm not too sure. Yeah? The part of the milk or something, I'm not sure. But yeah. There you go. Cuts through notes of dulce de leche and cocoa rich ganache. Yeah. That's probably what they've mixed with that there. Interesting. You guess you could probably have one jar as well, I see. Dear me, you two, honestly. You have to have a face-off one day if you can, if you ever meet. Right, well, the last one, guys, the last one. It's been a very long session, this one. I mean, normally, yeah, crikey, maybe an hour longer than some of the others. There's been loads of chocolates. Good chats going on as well, which has been nice. So we've got the chocolate brownie one. We've had this one before. Chocolate brownie is notoriously a different thing to replicate in chocolate form because actual chocolate brownies are warm, they're soft, they're multi-textured. You know, they've got, you know, very difficult to replicate. And I'm already seeing pecan praline in there, which definitely doesn't. I mean, some chocolate brownies do have nuts in and things, but the fact it's got praline in, you know. Nibbly cocoa rich pecan praline, sealed in 50% milk. That does not sound like a brownie to me. It doesn't really look like one either. And it looks more. I know it's chocolate brownie toppers generally have like a sort of crackly top, but it doesn't look like that. It looks more like a nutty top to me. I don't know. Implication of nuts. I guess some brownies do have nuts in them as well, but okay. All right, let's zoom down a bit. We'll get into this one. We've reviewed this one before. I don't think we were bowled over with it last time. But you know, let's see. All right, well, it's not quite a perfect rectangle. We'll measure as best we can. About 3.3 that way, about 2.9 that way. And the height, it's a bit knobbly at the top, About 1.4. Okay, but again, it's a bit knobbly, so yeah, 1.4, 1.5. There we go. All right, did we do the higher? We did, didn't we? Yes. Okay, so let's give it a bit of a chop. But first of all, let's just have a look. It's got a CH in the middle of it there. It's a bit like a face there, but if it focuses in, we'll see it's a CH. There we go. I don't like the look of this one myself. I don't like the look of it. I know some might. I don't particularly. It just doesn't look. It looks like a raisin to me. It just doesn't. It's had nuts before, but you know, more like a raisin maybe. I don't like the look of it. Give it a bit of a chop in half. Certainly doesn't come across as a brownie to me. Now some brownies do have nuts in. This one does have them. I'm not a fan of brownies with nuts in. I'll say that now. But it does have a praline in as well, which is not a brownie at all. If anything, I would be expecting more like that cake mixture, that pastry mixture they've used elsewhere, but mixed with cocoa to make it like a cocoa sort of pastry mix, rather than a praline centre. Unless that's what they've done, and this is basically what it turns out to be, just a praline. But yeah, so we can see sort of rich milk chocolate there. Praline centre filled with pecans. So we'll see. If you like your brownies with nuts in, I guess you're in luck with this one to an extent, but I still don't think it'll come across as a brownie, but we'll find out. We'll see. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, dosage dash, a smooth, thick mixture made of caramelized milk and sugar, used as a flavouring spread or dessert topping. Thanks so much, Joe. Thank you. Yeah. Right, caramelized milk and sugar. Okay, interesting. So they probably, so they put like mix sugar and milk, basically, it sounds like, and then caramelize it. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's very common down there. Used to spread it on bread as yes. Yeah, I see. Right, interesting. Yeah, I don't think it's not that common over here. You do hear it every now and again in chocolates like this, but I don't think you see it really. Yeah, might be able to get it. Probably pay a lot of money for it, but yes. Yeah, see. Oh, thanks, Jack. Thank you. Interesting one, that. Right, well, let's give this one a taste. The last one. Let's see how we go. Let's give it a go. Definitely got your nutty taste. I think Joe and perhaps Corey will be fans of this one. Because that nut taste, that pecan taste is definitely there. But, as we expected, it doesn't come across as a brownie whatsoever. Now you imagine just a truffle with pecans in it, that's what you've got. You've not got anything that tastes like a brownie at all. There's no textures like a sort of cake-like textures or anything that's tried to make it like a brownie. You know, different sort of types. You could have like little bits of even biscuit maybe to symbolise the crunch of the top of the brownie. You know, have something on the top of it at least. You know, they've done these little biscuit bits on top. Have that crumbled on top of it, maybe like a brittle. Or those crunch, yeah, something like that. Just little, or like the cookie. I mean, you get like these representations of sort of cookies and cream where the cookie part's just like crumbly biscuit. You know, just have that or something to give a semblance of some kind of crunch. You're just not getting anything. There's no attempt to make this like a brownie at all. So as I say, it's really just like that praline sort of truffly centre really, and with pecans. That's pretty much all you're getting. The chocolate's fine. There's nothing good or bad about it. It's there as a sort of vessel for it to hold the rest of it together. It's just, yeah, it's like brownies, very difficult to replicate. I still think though that Hotel Chocolat could have done a better job of this. They've really done nothing other than call it brownie. There's nothing else about it that's brownie-like at all. I think the pecan bit that they have got, I think if you just called it, you know, pecan truffle or something or whatever, pecans in truffle, I don't know, or do something a bit more clever with it. But I think you might have had something there, but unfortunately that's not what it's called, and it's just, I don't know, it's, yeah, I don't know. I think for me it's not too bad. I'd say I think it's one for nut fans, this one. If you like pecans, you could probably add half a mark onto it really, but for me it's nothing like a brownie. It's just a truffle. It's just something made to sound better than it is, and for me that's a 1.5 out of 5. It's just not that interesting at all, that one. Really pretty poor attempt at that. It doesn't look that great. I say the only thing in it that's got going for it is the fact it's got pecans in for pecan fans. I think they're the only people that would get anything from that, because it does taste of pecans. But that's not what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a brownie, and it doesn't come across as one at all. And yeah, disappointing. Peanut butter's cheap too and filling. Yes, well, that's a good point, that, Corey. Yeah, not too bad. And you'll see, and you can make it in any way you like and quite easily as well. So yeah, do you make your own, by the way, Corey, or do you buy it because it's quite easy to make, believe it or not. Yeah. Now, fun fact, the brand name of Dulce de Leche was Moo Moo, in reference to the cow mooing, I see. Interested, that, I see, interested. Good name, that, as well. Yeah, so I'll let you know if I see it. We probably can get it. It's come out a bit more. As basically the past 10 or so years, more recipes I've seen online and things have used Dulce de Leche, so there's a chance it could be available a bit more now in the UK, but I still think you'd probably pay a premium for it. There was a cow and a wrapper, yeah, I see. Oh dear, good name that, good name. Oh dear, right, so well, I guess to rate the whole thing as a whole, well, you can tell it's not going to be a great rating. I've gone through all of them here, we've literally rated them all, other than this one, so there's one repeat, which I think is a bit poor, to be honest with you. Why not just have, was it 14 different types? 3, 6, 9, 12, 14. Why not just have another different type of chocolate in there? I'm sure they could have done that, so that's a bit poor. It's just stupid, isn't it? If you're going to do it all different, then do it all different. Don't, just give one, it's just stupid, that. I'm not happy about that. I think they were all okay. There was a certain couple of highlights. The Gooseberry Crumble was a big highlight, as was the Hotel Chocolat. I think those were the two standout ones. I think the rest of them were pretty... The Blackcurrant Crumble cheesecake should have been nice, but they botched it up by encasing it in dark chocolate, which totally didn't work with the rest of it. The orange chocolate pot was quite nice as well, but again, kind of was overthought. They made it a bit too... they filled it with stuff that didn't quite work well together, but still individually tasted nice. So it's not like when you mix those things together, they're not going to taste nice, but they didn't taste as good as they probably would have done individually. So, yeah, as a whole, it's largely a bit of a miss, really. There's some interesting bits in here. There was about, as I say, 3 or 4 nice chocolates that really stood out. But when you consider that there's, 14, 3, 6, 9, 12... 14 different chocolates, and only 4 of them really were particularly decent. I think that's pretty poor. So I think for me, this is not a great selection, really. I think, I don't think it could be a 1.5 out of 5. I don't think it's that bad at all, but it's definitely, between a 2 and a 2.5, I would have said. I think, generally, as I've said, the rule for chocolate selections, from my point of view, is that they're really about having prestige behind them and being a present to someone. So not something you'd eat yourself, something you give someone else who probably wouldn't normally buy them. So they're happy because they wouldn't normally buy them. You're happy because you've given them something that they wouldn't normally buy. And whether they're any good or not doesn't really matter. I mean, well, the thing is, all chocolate selections are usually going to be quite nice because, as I say, the average chocolate is nice. But there's lots of things in here that just aren't that great. But you would enjoy eating them. You could eat them and you'd still appreciate them. But you would never think, I've got to go buy this myself after this. You would never consider that. You just, I've had them. They were nice. And then forget about it. So I think for me, these ones, I think as a gift, they're quite nice. I think as a gift, you could probably give this as a chocolate selection go, it's a good gift for someone because it's something different that they wouldn't normally have. So you can say, it's probably 3.5, 4 out of 5 as a gift is concerned. It works, it ticks the boxes. Or maybe just, it's better than, say, some other chocolate selections you could gift. But I think as a whole, as a taste and things like this, so let's say, go back in on that gift part. I think most chocolate selections would be a good gift. So you could say the average is 3, and maybe it's a 3 out of 5 for the fact that, but I think the fact that someone probably wouldn't normally buy this for themselves as often as they would do other chocolate selections like roses or something. And I think, a tin of roses maybe is a gift as well, but I think these ones probably have the prestige behind them. I definitely think tin of roses is nicer than this for sure. But, it's not really as good a gift, if that makes sense. So I think for me, this one, I think it's probably, probably a 2 out of 5 as a whole. It's not that great a selection. There's 4 good ones in there, but they're not that particularly standouty when you can, as opposed to other chocolates. They're okay. They're just, you know what I mean. They're not like thinking you could have as good as, if not better, chocolates in other selections as well. It's not like you think, I can't have this kind of experience elsewhere. But they are, the Gooseberry one, relatively distinct to this one, but it's not that particular standouty. It's okay. It's a 4 out of 5. And the chocolate ganache ones, I think those Ferrero Easter sort of cocoa eggs, I think they would do that even better. You know, it's kind of come across as that kind of nice cocoa taste, but a lot nicer, more, you know what I mean? So there's definitely other things you could have that that tick the boxes as well, if not more so. So yeah. So 2 out of 5 this one. Plenty of different selections to taste. They look relatively nice, but I think they still could look a bit more interesting. Yeah, 2 out of 5. I think that's about right. It's okay. It's not, as I say, it's a gift for someone. I'm not going to dislike it or anything like that, but I think they'll come away thinking it's a bit meh, really. I think that's the term for this, is meh. It's very, it's fine. It's a fine chocolate selection, and it would work as a gift for someone, but I don't think you'd be bothered about having it again, particularly. Yes, when doing peanut butter, just be careful not to overheat or burn your blender, like I do. I remember you saying about that. Yeah, crikey. Yes, I take it was just going too fast, was it? Crikey, Bob. Yeah. You never thought about making it myself. Yeah, give it a try, Corey. I mean, honestly, it's really. I mean, I must admit, I've not made it myself, but I've seen it being made. It's actually pretty straightforward to make. Yeah, and you can tailor it to however you want as well. Since you're a big fan of it, I think it'd be worth it. You even perhaps add chocolate to it as well. You know, you could do anything with it. I definitely would try it out, Corey. Honestly, it's yeah, you know. I know Joe. Unfortunately, Joe's not in Discord anymore. He was doing. He could. If you ever do come back, Joe, of course you could post your peanut butter recipes, and then Corey can as well if he ever joins Discord as well. That's kind of what I want it to be about, really, about sharing things like that. There's a recipe section in there. Yes, yeah, such a beautiful gift. Yeah, it's a gift. These chocolate selections, they thrive on the fact that they're gifts and they look the part, and they don't really taste the part. They just look the part, and they cost the part as well. And that's pretty much 75% of what it's about. 25% is about the taste, really. And as long as they taste not horrible and just relatively okay, look relatively okay, you're fine. And they thrive on that. That's it. It's just about the prestige of having it, really. You know, the air of quality, the style over substance. Yeah, you personally think that the homemade version tastes better, but again, they could have bought pounds of peanut butter with the money I had to spend on new equipment, right? So there's a bit of a barrier to entry, is there? Okay, I see. Yeah, perhaps have a look online, Corey, for cheaper ways to make it. I'm sure you don't need anything too dramatic to buy. You might, you know, yeah. But there's probably specialised equipment and things. But I think, you know, like maybe just a blender or something. I'm not sure, but yeah. Have a look. I'm sure you can find a good way to make it. Well, there we go, guys. Yeah, there we are. So the end of that one. So it's a bit of a long one, as I say. Yeah, 2.5 hours this one it was. Crikey, a bit of a long review this one. But as I say, these chocolate selections do take some time. We've been having some nice chats as well. So great to chat to you all. Really good to see you all. Great to see you, Corey, by the way. It's lovely to meet you. Hope to see you again. Do Stash Watch on Wednesdays. Basically just where I go over chocolate. I'm going to review potentially things in the new in the stash and in the backlog and things like this. But there's a Discord server as well. The link for that's in the description. Nightbot's been coming in with it every now and again. So feel free to join that. Other good way to keep in touch with myself and other members of the community. It's not massively, you know, you don't have to. You can post like, you know, once a day or once a week or something. You don't have to be in there all the time either. You know, and Egg of course was in there as well. He was in earlier, or she. I'm not sure if it's a he or a she. Yes, there's a few people in there. But great to see you there, but don't feel obliged. There's no problem. Great to see you in the chats. Do one every week and Wednesdays as well, as I say, for Stash Watch. So maybe some other things in between, all going well. But yeah, great to see you all. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Lovely to see you. Yeah, glad you're having a great day, and hope you are too, Corey, and Andrew as well, who was in there before, and of course Egg, and yes, I think it was Alex. I can't. Long time ago now. Let's see. Yeah, Matthew. There we go, Matthew as well. Okay, guys, so have a great weekend. Enjoy your day. Thanks so much for all the chats and for turning up. Great to see you all. Great to see you, Corey. Great to see you, Joe. There's a 6-second delay, pretty much. I might have gone if you say something, unfortunately, but I won't have been ignoring you. It's just there's a 6-second delay between myself communicating, getting the messages and things. So there we go. It's one of those. But yeah, thanks so much, Joe. Great to chat to you. And you, Corey. See you later. Have a great day. Bye for now. See you again. Bye.